ねぎゅっと心つないで見つけたダブル的なポーション華やかすぎるこの世界にもっと祝福願いはいつかエモーション真実はいつもクエスチョン僕らは紡ぐだろうこの素晴らしい世界を「
And we are live. Thank you so much for your patience. We had a few technical difficulties getting started, but now we're here looking at the Season 2 finals of Screeps Arena. I'm your host, and, well, I go by a series of different names depending on where you know me from, but in the Screeps world, I'm called Synaptic Purifier, and I'm going to be talking you through some of the games that we're going to see tonight. So Screeps Arena is the game where people compete not by having the best micro or the fastest reaction times, but by writing the best code. And the code has already been submitted, and the players have been competing for months to secure themselves a spot in these finals, so we can be sure we're looking at the best of the best. We have 3 different arenas we're going to cover in the next 3 days, but tonight we're looking at the arena called Capture the Flag. Capture the Flag is a twist on a popular concept you find in lots of other games. In Screeps Arena, there are 4 flags that the players have to control, and they move one of their units called a creep onto the flag, and in doing so, they switch it to their side. If they capture all of the flags, they win the match. Additionally, there's also towers located near the flags, and if a player captures the flag, they can then use that tower to either heal their units or shoot the opponent's units, giving them a bit of an advantage. In this game mode, there is no ability to construct new units. You start with a set of units, and that's all you have. Units are called creeps in this game. They're split into different categories. So we have the melee creeps. These do more damage, but they can only hit in a range of 1. We have the ranged attack creeps. They do less damage, but they have a range of 3, and they can also mass attack anything in that range of 3 if they want. And you also have healer creeps. Additionally, you have haulers, which can't do any sort of attack damage or anything like that, but they can still capture the flags, and what they can do is they can load the resources into the towers, which is required to make them work. Behind the scenes today, I'm joined by O4, who's going to be running the games. He's a member of the Screeps development team, and I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't seen the results of this, so join me now as we dive into our first games. So let's load this up. Okay. Sorry, it's just taking a moment to load. Okay. I've just been told that I need to swap the game client that I'm using. I'm very sorry for this delay. This is slightly different to what we had in testing, so just give me 1 moment, and I'm just going to get this fixed for you. Okay, very sorry about that. We now have the final screen that you should be able to see here. Oh dear, the chat window is covering that slightly. Oh yes, please feel free to chat as we go along as well. We will be checking the messages. Also, we are going to have a giveaway of access keys. So if you're a Screeps World player, you can gain a free access key later. We'll talk about that in more detail. Also, if you look in the description for wherever you're watching this stream, you should see a link that will take you to a site that where you can purchase any Screeps related items. There is also a discount code called SYNAP, SYNAP, and if you apply that, you'll get 5% off, which also stacks with existing promotions. So we're just waiting for the first game to be loaded now, and then Yep, so the first game is just running now, and then we're going to see it. So as you can see, we have the 8th finals, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then the final match. So we do have quite a number of players for this one. In the second version of Capture the Flag, though, which is called the advanced version, which we'll talk more about later, in that, we're actually just going to do quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then finals, because we don't have enough players, actually, for the full shebang to make it realistic. Otherwise, everyone would be in the finals. Because the advanced version is a bit more complicated than this. So generally, we've seen quite a variety of tactics in this game mode. So some people will dive through the middle of the map, trying to push their way towards the enemies. We've seen people split their forces to capture the 2 outer flags in the corners, which I'll show you once we get the first game to see. And then very occasionally, we actually see people's code go wrong and their bot crashes. A very important thing to keep in mind is the amount of CPU power they're allowed to use per tick in the game is limited. So they can't do any sort of very extreme calculations to get the optimal solution for whatever they're doing. They have to be quite conservative with the resources. So it's very much a balance between performance and CPU cost. And it's just where these players decide to strike that balance that can make the difference between whether they win or they lose. So I think I'm not quite sure what the exact amount of CPU is or what that translates to and what sort of computations you can do. But from my own experience with World, you do have to be very careful. Like, you can't just, run very intensive algorithms every step. The fights in this one do get a bit intense. I have myself, as I was practicing for these, lost track of who was who with some of the default badges, as players are like trying to cut each other off and that sort of thing with their attack creeps. So I'm hoping this is going to be quite an exciting final that we can see. And as I just said, very sorry, we're just waiting for the first game to run, because these are actually being run live right now. So we're all going to see these results at the same time. Like I said, this isn't pre-planned or anything like that. So yeah, it'd be really cool. I don't think the players actually win anything beyond maybe a cosmetic and glory. But yeah, I guess that's what matters the most, right? Is being able to say that I won. By the way, if you are interested in getting into any of the Screeps games, feel free to hop into the Discord, even if you don't buy it straight away. The community is very welcoming, we're very helpful, and we're quite honest and happy to answer any questions you might have about the games. Generally, Screeps is a programming game, as I mentioned, so it's all about writing your code to do things, but there are players who actually have no experience at all with programming before they started playing Screeps. On my YouTube channel, I've interviewed players like that who are now actually leading in certain aspects of the games as well. So yeah, please do come along. We're actually having some technical issues again. I'm really sorry. So I'm actually going to have to just close the game and reload it. Give me a moment. Sorry about that, we're just reloading the game now. Okay, let's have a look here. Oops, sorry, I'm looking at Season 3. We want to be on Season 2. Capture the flag, the finals. Okay, here we go. In our first game of the 8th finals, it was actually the host of the previous season live show, which is Marvin, and he is playing Drake in our 8th final. So first of all, I'll load in and I'll just tell you a bit about the arena because you're seeing it for the first time potentially, and then we can start. So, okay, as I mentioned, there are flags to capture. So here's an example of one of the flags, and this is the tower that they can then fill with energy from this container and use to shoot their opponents. So there's one down here, one equivalent one at the top, and then they also start with the same setup in their base. So when you're looking at the creeps, the red is a attack, so this is the 1 range unit. This is the 3 range unit, a ranged attack unit, and these are your healers with the green. So a healer can do a melee heal for more healing, or a ranged heal for less healing is something to keep in mind. And then also this is the carry creep. So these can pick up resources, but they have no attack abilities at all. So in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Marvin. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Drake. So without further ado, let the game begin. Okay, so right off the start, we're going to see Drake moving all his creeps forward and Marvin doing the same. We can't tell if they're going to split into 2 groups here. Marvin is going to load up his tower in the base there. That's probably just so he's got it to defend. Oh no, there you go. He's loaded it up, but he's not actually captured his flag yet, so I don't believe he can use that. Meanwhile, at the top, we see Drake is partitioning his creeps into 2 groups. Now, one thing to bear in mind is this orangey terrain here. This is called swamp, and if a creep hits that, they will actually move slower. So it's important to factor that in when you're considering your movement, as for example, you don't want your ranged attack creeps to be caught in melee range with a melee creep, for example. Okay, so we also see Marvin is splitting his creeps up too, but Drake seems to have much more even groups here, whereas Marvin has 3 creeps heading bot. He's got a healer, an attack, and a ranged attack. And then it looks like he's actually going to split into 3 groups potentially here, but he's got at least a lot of them heading straight for the middle there for a fight. Drake here sending most of his forces heading to the top flag. And he's only got a smaller detachment, heading towards the bottom. And it looks like he's rerouting the remaining of his forces up to the top. Marvin looks like he's just going to power through the middle here. Now, one thing that I didn't mention was these things here. These are body parts. So what happens is if a creep steps on that, it adds that part to its body. So as we click here, you can see, for example, a creep has a certain number of body parts. Now, the more of these heal body parts it has, the more healing it can do, for example. As it takes damage, it will be losing those body parts, so its effectiveness decreases with damage. So it's important to, make sure you keep your creeps healed up. Okay, Marvin here looks like he's going to try and just push straight through the middle against Drake. Drake is leaving that quite open, which means that Marvin could potentially push towards his base here unless Drake turns around. He will have some time to do so, though, because this middle terrain is swamp. Okay, so we're going to see the first fight potentially breaking out on the bottom here. Okay, and also at the top, it looks like Drake has got more forces there, and Marvin is potentially going to back up here. Yep, Marvin looks like he's... Oh no, he's going in. Oh no. Okay, he's actually split up here. This creep here, this carry part creep, is probably not in a great position here, but Drake is going to ignore that, so Marvin might actually be able to sneak and capture the flag here, and he is, and now he's actually got control of this tower, but it's unlikely that he's going to be able to load it up and take advantage of that before Drake intercepts him. Meanwhile, though, he is going to be pushing up towards through this middle because it's completely undefended right now. At the bottom here, we are seeing Drake looking like he's going to win this fight. He split off the healer from the rest of the group, and now he's going to pursue these creeps here, which now don't have a healer to back them up. The healer's going to break off and keep its distance. But he's taking control of the tower, and then we see the tower shot at this melee creep, and as you can see, it's lost almost all of its ability now. So it has 1 attack part left. After that, it's nothing more than move parts, and it can't do anything anymore. We are seeing these 3 healing parts now building up at this bottom flag. No one's claiming them, though, which is quite interesting. At the top here, we are going to see Drake pushing off Marvin from that top flag area as well, meaning Marvin is a little bit on the back foot here, but he is going to be sneaking into Drake's base to take that flag, which is an interesting play. These 2 pushing up as well, but they're also just going to be a little bit late. But Marvin's going to be a little bit careful he doesn't start losing units here, because if he does, well, that's going to put him at a big disadvantage, because he's already lost these ones at bottom, as you can see, and this attack creep is also going to go down probably pretty easily. There you go, the ranged attack just hit it, and now it's completely disabled. It's nothing but move parts, but it can still capture a flag, but it just means it's proposing no sort of military threat, and the tower's just going to finish it off. There we go. So Drake definitely has the advantage at this point, and he's going to be pushing towards Marvin's base now, capitalizing on that, and this creep has just sort of stopped moving, and unfortunately it is going to just go down very easily. The ranged attack there, what you're seeing this blinking behavior is because as he's moving, he is ranged mass attacking. Now, it isn't actually doing anything, but it's easier to do that than it is to code up like a conditional for when it should do that. So it's potentially an alright thing to do for Marvin there. Okay, we are going to see a fight breaking out a little bit here in Drake's base. He has a ranged attack creep. Sorry. This is Marvin. He has managed to take over Drake's base at the top here. Sorry, I misread the label there. So Marvin has now taken control of this. He could load up that tower potentially, but he does have he does not have a carry creep with him, so he can't take advantage of the tower over there. So it might be quite easy for Drake to push forward and retake control there. Drake has some forces holding the bottom tower. Most of his forces, though, are concentrated in the top. He is going to send one unit, it seems, to try and capture the flag at the bottom, but that's probably not going to work just because Marvin does have control of that tower, and he should be able to shoot that quite easily. We are seeing some engagements here that aren't looking too great for Drake. So he's got this creep that's lagging up behind, and he's pulling away from Drake is pulling away from the flag at the top, which means Marvin could potentially sweep in there and steal that one as well. His forces are also moving away from the base of Drake, heading towards that bottom flag. This is quite interesting to see because... Marvin is not going to take that flag at top. Instead, he's chasing after Drake's forces as they push towards the flag at the bottom. We're just going to increase the game speed here a little bit. Okay, so here we go. We see those tower shots taking out... it stopped firing. That's quite interesting. And then Drake's going to use that tower himself to take out Marvin's creep there. And he's going to send in a second carry creep. So this one can't do anything. It's only got move parts, so it's potentially an alright sacrifice there because he could get it back to the healers and get it healed up so it could be useful again, which it looks like that's what he's trying to do right now. He's got a second creep coming in. This one has 30 energy on it, so it could load up that tower. Marvin desperately chasing after it, though, with a ranged attack creep, but they both have the same movement, so it's unlikely that he's going to catch it before he can load the tower and shoot it. Okay, now we're going to see another engagement here. So Marvin is going to be pushing down with his healer, attack, and ranged attack trio against a similar trio from Drake. Drake does control that tower, but it is currently out of energy. And because it's out of energy, it means he can't actually use that to his advantage at all. So we'll see how that one goes. At the top, though, it looks like Drake has won that fight. Very beautiful column formation going there, avoiding the swamp, chasing after Marvin's creep. He should potentially go after and recapture his base here. Marvin has lost a number of his forces now, but that doesn't mean it's over because it's all about the flags. Okay, very interesting though that Drake is now just pulling away from Marvin's base that he captured there, and Marvin also just chasing after the creep. I'm not sure if he's going to go take the flag or just keep going. Meanwhile, Drake is running away as fast as he can from Marvin's forces as they push in with his trio, with Marvin's trio, against Drake's trio. He's rushing towards Marvin's base again. Oh, and there you go. He's pushing top, chasing after that creep there, but he does have one, which only has its move parts left, sneaking up to probably try and retake his base here. And we'll just go to a bit of a faster speed again here, as they all chase after each other. So we've got a little bit of a dance going on over here. No one's really making any progress. Cautiously seeing if they can outmaneuver each other, probably. And this creep here desperately running for its life as it's being chased down by that ranged attack creep. Probably not the best use of the ranged attack, though. It might have been better for it to have retaken the flag. Okay, and that's the game. So there's only a set number of ticks allowed. What happened is Drake managed to recapture the flag. So what we're going to see is this is actually a victory for Drake. I'm very sorry, I completely missed that creep arriving there. So because Drake has got all 4 flags on the map, he wins the game. It's not about killing your opponent, it's about doing those flags. So congratulations to Drake on the first win of the season finals. Okay, in our next game, we have Hunter versus Colo, and they both have the default badges to just make my life that little bit more difficult. Just as a reminder, if you check the description in the videos on YouTube or wherever else you're watching this, you should see a link to a store page Okay, sorry, I just got a message there from O4. He's helping me out here, as I mentioned, from behind the scenes. But yes, if you go to that link at the store page and use the discount code SYNAP, you should be able to get a 5% discount, and that stacks with other discounts that are currently running as well. And also, if you stick around, we'll be showing you how you can win an access key for Screeps World as well. Okay, Hunter versus Colo. Okay. In the... Oh, terribly sorry, that started already. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have Colo. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Hunter. So in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, and they're breaking off. And we're going to see that Colo is going to keep some of his creeps behind in his base. He has a... Hauler creep there that's going to load up his tower. He's not captured his flag, though. For some reason, he's got a melee and a healer leaving behind. The others are all going to form a single cluster, it seems, whereas Colo looks like he might be splitting up his forces here. But again, he's also going to be leaving 4 creeps behind in his base, which makes sense if he wants to defend that base, but it does mean that those creeps are going to be out of action for the fights over the other flags. Okay, it looks like we're going to see Colo pushing all of his forces to the bottom left flag here. And it looks like actually Hunter is going to be doing the same. So we might actually see a big fight here over the bottom flag. Who gets there first might make a little bit of a difference because it means they can potentially control that tower, load it up with energy, and take advantage of that. Okay, what we're going to see here is a cheeky little creep from Hunter, which is going to push through the middle, potentially going to this base. Now, if that base was unguarded, this would work 100%, but there is a melee creep there. And don't forget that Colo does have the control of the tower here, so he can use that as part of his defensive strategy. Okay, no one at all going for the top flag at all, which again is very interesting. Looking at the forces heading to this bottom flag, I believe we're going to see Colo having a slight numbers advantage, if nothing else. This is because we're seeing 1 creep from Hunter going through the middle, and he's also left 1 healer, as well as 2 of his melee attack creeps behind, whereas Hunter has just left 1 of his melee attack creeps behind and no healers at all. Now, remember, the haulers themselves... Oh, sorry, correction, he has left a healer behind as well. I didn't see the heal part under the tower there. Okay, we're probably going to see the big fight breaking out now as Colo and Hunter merge onto here. We're just going to up the speed a little bit before this begins. Okay, and here we go. The fight started. So immediately we're going to see these ranged attack creeps charging into melee range. Now, unfortunately, that's a bad play, and one of them is going to lose all its ranged attack parts, potentially going down there. And there we go. We see one dying. The healer creep here from Colo is actually a little bit out of position because it's taking damage. And you don't want to keep your healers on the front line. You want those behind, safely healing everyone else up. But this is a little bit chaotic. Okay, we're seeing Hunter here. He's going to be backing off, realizing he's probably not going to win this fight. Okay, and there you go. The tower has just been loaded up, controlled by Colo. This is a massive advantage for Colo now because he can use that tower to inflict lots of damage. And we did just see a tower shot here knock almost all of the ranged attack parts off that creep. Okay, and it's all falling apart for Colo here, for Hunter here, sorry, as he has to back off as Colo keeps up the pressure. Moving in a ranged attack creep, though, realizing that Hunter no longer has much in the way of melee power here. He's only got 1 melee... Oh, sorry, he's got... Yeah, he's got no melee creeps left. Sorry, I always get these badges mixed up. And it looks like this is going to be an easy win for Colo here going on because Hunter has unfortunately for him anyway, just lost this engagement completely. Interestingly, the creep that pushed through the middle is now desperately going to try and join that fight, but unfortunately, it's too little, too late. Oh, but this is quite interesting. So Hunter still has a few creeps left here, and Colo's just sort of moving away. Now, Hunter could take advantage of this and just go around and capture the flags, and it looks like that creep at the bottom might take control of that flag. Now, this tower currently has no energy left in it, so it can't be used by Colo for defense at all. So Hunter might be able to just sneak that very quickly. He has still got these creeps just sitting here at his base, though. It's going to be a very hard push here for Hunter if he is to beat Colo here, but it looks like Colo is always going to keep his units together, so this is maybe a good chance for him to just sneak around and try and keep control at least some of the flags. This particular creep here trying to act like an absolute hero. There's no way it can potentially contest these creeps from Colo. If he turns around, that thing would be dead. They all move at the same speed, though, so we are just going to see him keep a constant distance, though. What would be interesting is if he somehow managed to catch up with that melee creep. But yes, we're probably going to see a fight go badly in a second here as we watch as they just push up here. Okay, let's go a bit faster. And just before we start watching that fight... Oh, okay. Hunter did take the flag down there. So Hunter controls the bottom flag. And now we're going to see Colo grouping his forces up here. He's not taking the flag yet, just about to, it looks like. He's going to move that melee attack creep onto it. Okay, moving a little bit faster. And there we go. That ranged attack is going to be kiting, but now the tower's online and it takes a massive tower shot that's going to knock out a lot of its capability, and all the damage it just did to that melee creep is going to be healed up. He's looking here, dancing around with just one ranged attack part left, looking to just be annoying with that kiting, but with so little damage left on that creep, it's probably not going to be that effective. Colo now pushing just to retake the flag at the bottom, and then once he's done so, all he has to do is then push straight to Hunter's base, and it'll be an easy win here. Okay, Hunter should probably run that creep away, but it looks like Colo isn't going to be... Oh, there you go. It's lost all of its parts. It's only got move parts now, meaning it's completely ineffective. Colo, though, Hunter is just going to be annoying with that, and there you go. It's completely lost all of its parts. It's only move parts now, which means the only damage Hunter has left is currently back in his base, and it is probably not going to be enough unless Colo badly feeds his units into that flag because, well, there's just not enough of a force here. So we are going to just go to a slightly faster speed. Oh, and there's that melee creep from earlier just taking needless damage. And without that healer moving up, there's no way for it to be healed. So that damage is going to be permanent. So let's just go a little bit faster here. Hunter very cheekily taking the flag again at the bottom. And oh my goodness, he is brave with that creep. He's going to push it up and retake the flag there. So it looks like, even though Colo definitely has the numbers advantage, he's struggling to effectively split. So, oh dear, look, he's fed those in one by one, but it's okay. It pays out for him. Even with the tower shots, it's not going to be enough. And we're going to see Colo here taking control of Hunter's base, killing off pretty much the only damage he had left, and he now controls that and the tower there. But Hunter is desperately going to move in, and he's going to retake it, because the tower only seems to get one shot before it's out of energy, and oh dear, Colo is just not moving things around effectively. He should really be splitting his forces here to deal with these stragglers, as they go around and continuously be a pain. And there you go, another straggler down there going to retake the flag from Colo. And Hunter has also captured the top flag there. In the base, though, he doesn't stand a chance because he doesn't have the ability to do any damage now. Colo going to retake that flag and going to push back towards the base. We're going to go a little bit faster now because I think this is fairly decided at this point. Okay, Hunter has lost his base again to Colo, and Colo is going to push down here and retake this flag, and once he's done so, this is probably going to be the victory, and congratulations to Colo for the second win of the tournament series. Okay, and now we're going to wait for the third game. So, even if you're down on forces, sometimes it pays to, split them up, because I think Colo could have won that a lot faster, but hey, he's into the quarterfinals now, so he's doing something right, I guess. Okay, the next matchup we're going to see is between Fafa and Kyun. I'm just going to call him Kyun, I think. Okay, just give me 1 second. Sorry, we're just talking currently about the promo code that's going to come later for your Screeps World Access tokens. Okay, I'm very sorry for that, and let's get back to it. So, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Fafa, and in the top left-hand corner, we have Kun, Q-Kun. I apologize sincerely if I am massacring how you would like your name to be pronounced. I apologize. I don't have any audio of it. I only have what's written there, so Q-Kun. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to see Fafa is going to push out, heading towards the middle, and Q-Kun might have had a bug or something in his code, because he's just sitting there at his base right now, nothing moving except for the one creep here that's taken his tower, maybe playing a defensive strategy here, waiting for Fafa to come to him, and then afterwards going to push out. He gives him the opportunity to take advantage. Oh, and we are going to see a bit of a misplay here from Fafa. So Fafa is sending in his forces, but they're going to be trickling in one by one here. So we've got this group of 3 creeps here. This is quite split up from all the others, which means that... Oh, and there you go. And now we see Q-Kun pushing out, easily taking out these 3 creeps here, potentially, as Fafa has not grouped his forces correctly. He has taken tower shots as well. He hasn't got a healer in that group, so any damage he's sustaining now, he can't immediately heal up at all. We have seen one of them lose all of its combat power, so that's a ranged attack creep, all the ranged attack gone, but he has managed to peel them so far. Okay, and now we're seeing him pushing a... Oh no, that was bad for Fafa here. He just took a lot of damage on 2 of his units here. He's running away, but there you go. He turned around again. That's going to be a really bad play from him. He's going to take even more damage on them. The melee creep engaging another melee creep of Q-Kun here, but Fafa is already at a disadvantage, having already taken a lot of damage here before the fight's even begun, and his units are all over the place now, so we're still seeing some units trailing in. Q-Kun, however, has got all of his units gathered up, ready to fight, and Fafa here is desperately trying to run away. If he can get away, he might be able to heal up some of the damage he's taken. But oh no, he stopped again. And oh dear, we might be seeing one of his creeps going down here. And there we go. We have a kill confirmed by Q-Kun. And again, he's not kiting very well here. A healer creep here, losing all of its heal pots and a big chunk of its move there as well, taking a lot of damage again from Q-Kun. This delayed defensive strategy paying off very well for him. Fafa now losing a lot of the parts on his ranged attack as he desperately tries to run away. His healer's moving forward though, and one of them just took an unnecessary shot there. Not healing though. So in this game, you have the ability to do a heal and a move simultaneously, but he doesn't seem to be taking advantage of that. Not sure what's going on here. Okay, we are going to see Q-Kun taking a little bit of damage here himself, so he is going to be rotating his creeps around as he looks to get them healed before they move back to the front line. Q-Kun taking damage here in ranged attack and a melee there, taking out another one of his creeps, a healer here losing almost all of his heal parts, and that healer is completely disabled with only its move parts left now. Q-Kun keeping up the pressure, Fafa desperately trying to flee, but he's fleeing straight towards the swamp. Remember folks, if he goes onto that brown patch, which is the swamp, he will not be able to move very fast at all, so Q-Kun is gonna catch him for sure. And we're seeing even more creeps going down here. Q-Kun might just win by taking out all of Fafa's forces here. And there we go. We see Fafa on the swamp, and we're seeing those melee creeps getting into range, hitting those healers now pretty hard. Okay, another ranged attack another ranged attack creep here, losing all of its ranged attack, going to die. Will Q-Kun chase him into the swamp? And it looks like he might be doing here. So now Q-Kun is also going to have that movement penalty, which means Fafa might still be able to escape with the very few forces he has left, but that's not looking likely, unfortunately. So Fafa's going to take another casualty there. Those melee creeps still able to keep up with his ranged attack, unfortunately. So Fafa's ability now to do damage is very much diminished, and he's also taking damage to his healer creep here, which means his healing is almost completely gone at this point, which means that this victory is probably just secured for Fafa at this point. For Q-Kun at this point, because Fafa unfortunately had a very bad play at the very start, which shows that these things can just spiral very quickly. So a very good early game defensive play from Q-Kun here. And there we go, we're seeing 2 melee creeps engaging Fafa's melee creeps, but Fafa has far more healing support, far more ranged attack support, and able to take that. Q-Kun now realizing, oh no, he's turned around. I thought for a second he would have realized he's won that fight and he was going to disperse his creeps to take all the other flags, but unfortunately not. Okay, so Fafa has basically lost everything here. He does have that healer creep still with 1 heal part still active on it, so he could potentially over a very long period of time heal himself up. The carry creeps don't count, obviously. They don't have anything to contribute now. He is going to be running, not healing up as he's running at all. And Kyukun here pushing the advantage hard. He's going to push him all the way back to his base. And although Fafa does have his tower, it's probably not going to be enough at this stage, even though Kyukun's forces themselves are now staggered, the very mistake that Fafa made. But unfortunately, it might just be a bit too late for Fafa here. Okay, Fafa is now going to be using his tower to try and desperately heal up some of these creeps that have taken all of that damage. Now, the tower is more effective at closer range, so it's better for Fafa to move his units closer to the tower and then use it rather than try and use it at a longer range, and that might be what he's trying to do here. And there we go, we're going to see a tower shot firing out. It's barely, so tough parts don't contribute anything, but they do just suck up some damage, and he's going to move it back to that healer creep for some healing as they push in. That tower is now going to be on cooldown, and as soon as it's off cooldown, we expect him to use it again. And there we go. We just saw it shoot another one of the creeps. Now, they are getting closer. So as I said, the closer you get to that tower, the more effective it's getting. And Kyukun here taking a lot of damage on that melee creep, but not retreating it, interestingly. So previously he retreated them, but now he's pushing his advantage. He realizes maybe his best option here is just to push into the base and maybe try and take out that creep here that is constantly refueling this tower, which is going to be a constant thorn in his side. Kyukun here pushing in with his ranged attack, his melee attack creeps here, able to do damage with Fafa, who do not run away properly. His healer is still not healing, which is quite interesting. Probably maybe an oversight or a coding error, I'm not sure. Maybe Fafa can tell us more later on. If you would like to in the Screeps Discord. Okay, so now we're going to see his last attack part creep here, desperately trying to do some damage to Kyukun, but Kyukun has so much healing, it's not going to be able to do anything, and it loses that last attack part. Kyukun here is going to be mopping up these creeps. Unfortunately, the tower damage alone is not going to be enough for him, it seems. There's far too much healing still for Kyukun, and he's probably going to easily be able to take this. And what we're going to do is just go to a slightly faster tick speed now. And there we go. We're going to see him taking out that creep that was refueling the tower. That's going to go down. And now all Kyukun has to do is mop up the flags, and it's pretty much a guaranteed victory for him. Great, so if we just go to a faster tick speed now, because we've pretty much seen what's going on. Fafa here has no forces left, and there you go, he's taken that flag. He's going to take the top flag at some point, and he's sending one creep there to go take the bottom flag. And that's the game. Congratulations, Kyukun, on your win. You're through to the quarterfinals. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry. I can't read Chinese. So I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Please forgive me for this. But his badge is purple, so I will call you Purple. I'm terribly sorry for not being able to read your name. Okay, so we have Purple versus Jarlek. Okay, let's load the game. Okay, so in the bottom right-hand corner, we are going to have Jarlek. And in the top left-hand corner, we're going to have our friend Purple. So, in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, and right off the start, we're going to see some forces splitting here from Jarlek, who is looking like he's going to try and take the flag at the top and the flag at the bottom simultaneously. Meanwhile, we're seeing our friend Purple here. He's going to be pushing all the way down, all of his forces, to the bottom, which means if they do take a fight there, he will have an advantage. But we'll see if Jarlek successfully manages that properly. Okay, maybe not. It looked like for a second Jarlek might have been sending some forces to sneak through the middle, which is a tactic I've seen play out a few times. Now, Jarlek has left Purple has left 2 of the carry groups behind to keep that tower loaded. So they can't just send like one creep there. Oh, and Jarlik realizing that purple is heading towards the bottom, so he's just going to now try and push all his forces up towards the top. They are going to be all spread out though, which is not great for him. So now if purple did decide to push to his base, Jarlik would have to regroup before he goes there. And Jarlik is going to take that top flag, purple is going to take that bottom flag, and now purple is going to push up, but he's got his forces all spread out as well now. Oh, rerouting. Now he's going to go straight for Jarlik's base, beelining for it there. Now we're going to see purple moving some of his creeps there to refuel the tower there, but unfortunately that leaves his base a little bit open, and Jarlik is going to be able to sneak one creep there to take it, and he's also sneaking some creeps down to take that bottom flag, but Jarlik's base is completely open now, and purple is going to be able to take that base, so it's pretty much anyone's game at this point. Jarlik's forces are grouping up a bit on the tower, and he does have control. Sorry, purple still has control of the tower though, because Jarlik hasn't taken that flag, so he can't use that to his advantage just yet. And there you go, the tower has just flipped control, so Jarlik now controls the tower, and the game is over because meanwhile, while all of this was going on, purple did not get to that flag at the bottom fast enough. Jarlik took control of the top, if you remember. He snuck a creep there to take control there, and he took control there. So we didn't actually see much in the way of fighting at all. But again, this game isn't about wiping out your opponent's creeps necessarily. It's about taking the flags. So unfortunately, although purple did have a bit of an advantage potentially to take that bottom because he kept all of his units grouped up, so in a fight he would have won, Jarlik was far more effective at splitting up his forces, and that's why he was able to take the win there potentially. All right. Oops. Terribly sorry. Pardon me, just let me get a drink. Okay, and on theme with names that are very difficult to pronounce, I'm just going to call you JSK. JSK versus me. Okay, this is the 8th finals, and we're looking at me versus JSK. So, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have JSK. And in the top left-hand corner, we have me. Okay, I know the badges are very similar, but if you look very closely, you'll see that me is a white circle with a black one in the middle, whereas JSK is a black circle with a white one in the middle. I know this might get a little bit confusing, but hopefully, well, we'll see how this goes. Okay, let the game begin. Right. What we're going to see now is JSK looks like he is juggling his forces down here, working out where to go and how to organize them, but they are looking like they're going to stick together. Meanwhile, we're going to see me playing a very defensive strategy. Now, we did see that work very well earlier with Q-Kun, so maybe he's trying the same sort of thing here, where he just keeps all of his forces behind. Now, he's actually moving them back towards his flag, which is interesting. Now, this could potentially play out in his advantage, because it means that he might be able to get more tower shots off if he forces JSK to push through the swamp. Okay. JSK here looks like he's making a beeline for the middle here with all of his units. It looks like he's going to power through. Now, we saw this end badly previously if he doesn't group them all up. Oh, no, he's rerouting. Okay, so he's now got most of his forces heading towards that bottom flag, and he's got one of his creeps heading towards the top. Okay, they hit that swamp as they head towards the flag. Interestingly, he didn't need to really send all of them into the swamp. A little bit of a waste of time, but it doesn't really matter at this point because me is playing very defensively here. Now, it looks like JSK is going to hover around, though, there. He isn't looking like he's going to push out towards me at all. So we're just going to go to a slightly faster tick rate here. And yeah, he looks like he's just clustering up on the bottom here. And it looks like this game might have hit a stalemate. Now, remember, this is a programming game. So it's like sometimes there's unexpected... Oh, no, wait, sorry. I tell a lie. We're going to rewind that a little bit because we're seeing an aggressive push out here. Okay, let's go to a slower tick rate and see what happens. So it looks like whatever stalemate there was... Now, as I was saying, sorry, sometimes in programming games, you might find that you reach a suboptimal local minima where you don't do anything, but it looks like we're actually going to see me pushing out here, heading towards JSK. So let's watch this fight unfold. This could be a potentially a big one here. Okay, so immediately going in, we're going to see JSK having a healer creep completely out of position. Now, this has just come into range with that melee creep, which is less than ideal, because ideally you want the healers to stick around so they can heal your other damage dealing creeps. So this is still going to be pushing forward, a complete misplay there. It's going to take damage. Meanwhile, though, JSK is going to be taking some exchanging fire here with this range attack creep, but he's probably going to lose that because this healer is moving into melee range. And remember, healers in melee range are more effective. For those of you just joining, just as a quick recap, the red means it's a basic attack. Now, a basic attack does more damage, but only has a range of 1. The blue is a ranged attack, which has a ranged of 3, can also do a mass ranged attack to hit lots of units within that 3 range, or every unit, sorry, on the enemy team within that 3 range. And green are your healers. There's also additionally one that doesn't have any of the aforementioned colors, and these are just there to carry resources to load these towers, which can then shoot. And speaking of which, JSK has not loaded this tower at all, which means even though he controls this flag and, you know, he could potentially use that to his advantage, he's not going to. Now, we are going to see one of his melee creeps pushing forward here, but it's taking ranged healing rather than melee healing, but at least it's getting some healing because it looks like me is not effectively healing. Oh, there you go. He's backed that creep off now to head towards his healers, and it looks like me is actually going to retreat here with his tail between his legs, realizing he probably isn't going to win this engagement, although I think JSK did take some casualties here. Okay, me is also, has split some of his forces. He's headed towards the top here, but he's not taken the flag. Now, if you remember, the important thing in this map is to control all of the flags. It's not about just killing your opponent's creeps. That's the key thing here. It's about controlling the objective. Like, if you remember the last game, we had barely any fighting at all, but the winner was just better at utilizing his forces to go to the different flags. Okay, we're going to go to a slightly faster tick speed here, as we now see him now turning around, heading back towards the second engagement. And now, this time, it's going to be me who is unfortunately sending the healer in first, which is not an ideal play here. But JSK has still not loaded up that tower. He's going to rotate his creeps out, putting a melee in front, and a ranged attack is going to start doing some damage to that healer creep. And that healer is just taking a lot of damage here, but it's okay because it's got the other one. Oh, and then melee creep just got in range with the healer, and that's what I mean by the melee's doing a lot more damage. Look how much damage that healer got, and it's going to go down. In fact, me is potentially going to lose all of his healing power here because 2 healers have been caught out of position, and they're charging through the ranged attack, the melee attack creeps of JSK, which is not great for him. Now, with that healing power greatly diminished, it looks like JSK is probably going to win this fight, and as we're seeing, a lot of the damage potential from me is gone. In fact, he's got these 2 ranged attack creeps here on full, but all of his melee is gone here. The healer is keeping its distance and healing in range, and it just basically did a little bit of a kiss there with JSK's melee creep. In fact, they seem to be dancing with each other backwards and forwards. This is another example of a funny sort of local behavior that you can get trapped in, where they're oscillating between these 2 states, because probably at each time step that looks like the correct step to take for their bots. And we're going to see the 2 melee creeps here chasing after this healer as the healer heals itself up as it runs away. Now, bear in mind, they all move at the same speed, but he's going to misplay there, and the melee creep got into range, and he's moved back towards the 2 melee creeps. They're doing this funny dancing thing again, but they're not actually going to be able to take it out here if they don't keep up the pursuit. Ideally, what they should be doing is, once they've seen that melee, once they've got in range, with that healer creep, they should just be following it here, continuously doing the damage. But what both of them are doing with this funny dance thing is quite interesting. Now, looking at the flag situation, we see me controls the top one, we see JSK controls his base, and the bottom one. And we are going to see me retreating some of his creeps here back to the base. So it looks like this might end in a stalemate here. Okay, and we're going to go to a slightly faster tick speed here as we see how this plays out. Okay, we're going to see JSK pushing towards the top, and JSK has now taken the top flag as well. So JSK has the top flag, the bottom flag, and his base, so he now controls 3 out of the 4 flags. The only flag he doesn't have is at Mii's base, and even with some of the casualties that Mii has taken, this still might be a very tough fight to take that. The reason being is Mii still has the tower, and he still has that swamp advantage, because in order to get JSK's creeps there, you have to move quite slowly through that swamp, potentially taking tower shots as he does so. So we're going to go to a slightly faster tick rate. Oh, but Mii has just moved out. Look at that. Mii has moved out his creeps again, except for one healer. He's kept a healer behind. Now, that's potentially so, like, once the creeps have taken damage, they can retreat and heal up. So he is going to be moving 2 creeps here towards the top. But the tower is not filled, so JSK cannot take advantage of it. Potentially a bit of a skirmish going to go on with these 2 ranged attack creeps, but it's not going to be able to do much. Like, JSK just has way too much healing power there, and also too much damage as well, so this could end very badly for him. Oh, but he's got a healer creep out of position. Is it going to be enough, though? It's not going to be enough. And Mii is losing creeps, microing those pretty badly, and now he's running away with the 1 ranged attack creep he still has left up there. Mii now controls the top flag and his base. JSK still controls the bottom and the base of his own, but he's pushing out his creeps now. But it looks like Mii has done a good job here with loading up that tower, but it's probably not going to be enough, and he's going to lose that hauler creep because he didn't run it away, and that tower is now no longer available to him. JSK now controls 3 of the flags, but it looks like Mii is going to push towards the bottom to try and retake that. Meanwhile, JSK's base is open, so with Mii is careful with how he plays here. While JSK is rotating, he might potentially be able to sneak all the flags here, but we'll see. This game does go for the full 2,000 ticks, so it is a possibility that it just ends in a stalemate here. We are going to just speed up a little bit as we see JSK moving back towards bottom to just hold there. It looks like the way they're playing is now... Okay, Mii moved towards that flag and then backed off. Now he did take it, taking the extra move part there, and that seems to trigger a behavior in JSK where he pushes up to top. Oh, he is splitting his forces now. So whatever logic he has in his bot has told him that, hey, he needs to defend both of these positions. He is going to defend both of those now, but he's making no move at all towards Mii, which means that he's not going to get the easy win here by taking that. Potentially a wise decision, because it's hard to predict how that engagement will go with the swamp and the tower. We are at full speed here now, and it looks like this is a local minima that both bots have fallen into, where neither of them are really doing much right now. Okay. So yeah, again, this can happen sometimes, but I'm not sure how the rules work in the finals. I think if you controlled, yes, there you go. By controlling 3 of the 4 flags, the victory goes to JSK by default. So he probably made the right call there to actually just hold at those 2 positions. Mii really had to have pushed out to keep him, but with the few forces he had left, he didn't stand a chance. So the win is going to go to JSK. So congratulations to JSK. You're through to the quarterfinals. Okay. Oh, I've watched quite a few of Metallica's games. Or Metallic X. Or Metallics. I'm going to go with Metallics. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I need a drink again. Okay. Our next match is going to be Metallics versus Statue. I think it's Statue. Gomenasai. Okay. Let's start the game. Right, in the bottom right-hand corner with his really cool badge, we have Metallics. And in the top left-hand corner with another really cool badge, but very similarly colored, but different in style, I guess, is Statue. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, and now we're going to see, straight off the bat, we're going to see Metallics looks like he's going to send his forces out in 2 separate clusters. He is going to keep a creep behind here, which can probably keep that tower loaded, which is very useful for defense. Okay, not quite decided where to move his creeps here. A lot of them just sort of dancing around in the start area, pushing out with 2 of his melee attack creeps and a carry to the top. and one of his attack creeps alone is going to push to the bottom. Meanwhile, it looks like that statue is grouping all of his units together, and he's going to push towards the bottom here with the entire force. So we're just going to speed it up a little. Now, naturally, you would expect Metallics to just run away here on bottom, because there's no chance he's going to be able to hold that against that entire force that's pushing down there. So, yes, it looks like that's how that's going to go. We're just going to speed up because it doesn't like there's any fight. Oh, and now we're seeing Metallics pushing out. Looks like he's going to make a push towards the middle, potentially. Or maybe, oh, no, we might be seeing a fight breaking out down here. So, yeah, so even though Statue has his entire force down here at the bottom, they are split into separate clusters. So we have a healer, a ranged attack, and a melee here, which might, if he's not careful, be caught off guard by Metallics here, who has a lot more healing power and a lot more damage here. And that's exactly looks like what's going to happen. So Metallics is coming up through behind on that group there, but he's ignoring it, actually. He's going to push towards the bigger cluster, which he might struggle to attack here, but there is a melee creep, so it can't do any damage yet because it's not in range. In fact, all of the creeps here in this cluster, oh no, correction, there are some ranged attacks, but the ranged attacks are too far behind currently to do any damage. What Statue really needs to do is to swap those around. Fortunately for Statue, he does have a fair amount of healing power here, so they're not just going to go down very easily without a fight. And we're also going to see the second group of Statue. We're not sure what that's going to do just yet, but maybe that might come in behind, and that would be quite interesting to see. Meanwhile, at the top, Metallics has taken that flag there. So we know this isn't a win by default because the game doesn't last for the full 2,000 ticks, which is interesting. Okay, now, well, oh, this is very interesting. So Statue has actually split his forces into 3 groups again. He seems to love these healer, melee, ranged groups of 3. That seems to be how his bot operates. But unfortunately, this one group of 3 is not going to be enough to hold back the forces of Metallics here, who should be able to push in and take that flag, whose Statue, even though he got the control early, did not take that flag, which is interesting. Now, remember, once they have the flag, they can load up the tower with energy and then use that as part of their attack/defense. Okay, he's going to be chasing after this melee creep here. It is taking some damage, but Statue should be able to heal that up if he... There you go, he's kept it out of damage now, and it's going to be healed up fully, so no worries there for him. Okay, what we are seeing, though, is one of his groups of 3 is going to make a dash there for that top flag. Metallics is not going to be able to hold that, and it looks like Metallics has realized what's going on here, because for a second it looked like that melee creep might be running away here. There you go. Yes, there you go. It's just moved out of the swamp. Now, remember, you move a lot slower on the swamp, so he must have predicted this was coming and realized, oh dear, I've got to run. And run he is doing. This is a very interesting game. Both players here trying to just outmaneuver each other. All it takes is one misplay, and this could go very badly for either of them. Looks like Metallics here is going to be pushing towards Statue's flag, which is quite interesting. So he does have that one creep, which is pushing in alone. The problem is it's got no healing support, and Statue does control that tower, which means that once it gets in range, it can take a lot of damage. So we'll see how that plays out. Metallics here, engaging one of those clusters of 3. Looks like, though, he doesn't have enough damage in his group here to actually take it out. Oh, he might do, because that healer is taking a lot of hits. He's focusing the healer. The healer, if it loses its healing parts, that means he can no longer maintain damage. There you go. Okay, the healer is now completely out of healing parts, which means that if this fight continues, it's going to be Metallics that's going to win this engagement with the 3. I think Statue has realized this now, because it looks like he's not going to continue the pursuit here. Unfortunately, that cluster is very much diminished unless he can get it healed up again. Statue grouping up 2 of his groups of 3 here, but Metallics very cleverly rotating through his ranged attack to make sure he keeps those healers on the back line, which is really nice. And one of the healers accidentally got in range of a melee creep there, but fortunately for Metallics, it was not enough to do the damage. Okay, so right now, on the flag situation, Metallics actually controls 3 of the 4 flags. So he doesn't have to do too much here to actually win. Okay. Metallics here has a creep that's a little bit out of position, taking a lot of damage here from Statue, and he's going to be running it round to this other group of 3. Now, even though this group of 3 down here doesn't have healing support, it does still have that damage. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. He's still focusing the healing creep, which is quite interesting. Now, that's probably a pre-programmed behavior where he's identified it as such, even though that creep literally can't do anything except move right now. But I guess it's probably a good idea to remove it from the board completely. But he's going to be caught off completely here by Statue, who... oh, interesting. So even though he got the drop on him there, he is going to be backing off. This group of 3 now pretty much disabled. Only move parts left on it. Oh no, so that still has a little bit of range attack power. 2 range attack power parts left on it, but probably not enough to really be effective. Metallics here being super aggressive, pushing through with a melee creep here with a healer. That healer is probably going to go down. That was a little bit of a misplay from Metallics here, which is a little bit surprising. Also, this ranged attack creep pushing in way too deep here. But Statue here is just probably going to be able to take that out very easily. He's got more healing power. That's got no attack power left. Metallics also now taking tower shots as well. So remember, the towers add quite a bit of advantage. And Metallics is fighting under the tower. That ranged attack creep lost almost all of its attack parts, but it is going to be healed up by the healer that's flanking it here. Statue taking out more of Metallics' creeps. Now, remember, Metallics does control the flag still, so all he has to do is really hold out a little bit here, but unfortunately, he might not have enough creeps to do so at this point, but we'll see how this goes out, how this plays out, sorry. Okay, so Metallics losing yet another one of his creeps here. The healing is not going to be enough to keep that alive, and he moved it into rage attack. Oh, and the healer desperately coming in to try and heal that creep is accidentally going to move itself into a melee range here, and the melee creep is going to attach itself to that, and that creep is very easily going to go down. Metallics taking yet another loss here, putting Statue definitely in the lead here. He does have some stragglers behind, but it's probably not going to be enough at this point unless, we're only 295 ticks into this game. Remember, the games can only last for a maximum of 2,000 ticks, but there's still plenty of time for Statue to potentially mop up here and move out and recapture the flags. But if Metallic somehow manages to delay him, he could still pull a victory here because, I remind you, currently, right now, Metallics controls 3 out of the 4 flags. So all he has to do is hold that to the end of the game. Now, spoilers, he probably doesn't because we can see that the game only lasts 1,600 ticks. And now we're going to see Statue here. He's probably going to mop up these last 2 creeps. There you go. All the damage gone. All the healing's probably going to be gone soon because he's still got that tower here. Being very useful in this fight. Unfortunately for Metallics, providing quite a bit of an advantage here. And that's what I mean. It wasn't like Metallics was doing terribly. It was just 1 or 2 misplays that all accumulated to ensure that, unfortunately for him, it was quite a victory there for Statues. So now we're just going to go to a slightly faster speed here now that that fight's over. Metallics doing the only sensible thing here that he can do and just run away with that creep. The Blinky healers are just there, healing as they go, fixing all of the damage he took in that fight. And Metallics hasn't got anything in that tower, so Statue is going to be able to take that, and he's going to push straight towards the base here, which is quite an interesting place. So what we saw here was only some of the creeps went for that flag, and the others avoided the swamp, so they didn't take any movement penalty, and he was able to keep up the pursuit on that melee creep here. Oh, the melee creep slightly misplaying, and getting into melee range there. That creep is going to go down for sure. Yes, he avoids the swamp successfully. It's now just a weird chase, and there we go. It's gone down. It looks like this might be over for Metallics now as he loses even more of his forces. Statue able to very easily take that, and he's going to push into the base here. Oh no, he's going to pursue that 1 creep of Metallics a little bit. Not sure what to do. He's sort of dancing around in a circle here. Obviously some behavior conflict going on, whether to maybe chase after that creep or go after his base, and it seems to be undecided, and his bot seems to be stuck in a loop, unfortunately. But Statue does control the majority of the flags right now, so as long as he stays in this for the rest of the game, he would still win. But yeah, this is quite interesting to see. I'm not sure if he's going to resolve the stalemate by the end of the game or what's going to happen here exactly. Okay, There's not much to say, I'm sorry. They're just dancing. Oh, there you go, and the behavior's resolved itself. Now, he probably had some kind of resolution sort of thing built into his code. He could probably tell us more about that another time. So basically, he was dancing around for a really long time. The game board wasn't changing at all, but eventually he changed the behavior of his bot, which is why sometimes it's important to maybe make your bot not necessarily take the most optimal course of action. Okay, and we're just going to fast forward this. This tower is not going to be very effective, and the win is going to go to Statue. So congratulations to Statue, you're through to the quarterfinals. And that was a really interesting game with some pretty amazing fights. Thank you to both the players for submitting your code. That was very fun to watch, and I hope the viewers enjoyed it as well. Okay. Right, in our next matchup, we have Ant versus Judah. So, in the bottom right-hand corner, wearing the default badge with the white circle in the middle, is Judah. And in the top left-hand corner, with his rather pretty orange badge, making it very easy to see who's who, thank you for using that badge, is Ant. Okay, and in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, so right off the start, we're going to see Ant is going to push out with all of his forces except for the one move carry creep, which is keeping behind here, probably to load up his tower and keep it ready to go. Meanwhile, we're seeing Judah pushing out with all of his forces. It looks like right now they're heading towards the middle, but there you go, he might be splitting them up here. Right, we're just going to go to a slightly faster tick rate as we watch what happens here. Okay, so Judah is going to send one of his creeps to the top. Meanwhile, Ant is sending his entire force to the bot. This could be a very interesting fight here, which might determine the game quite early on. So the creep heading up here is just a carry part. So remember, the carries don't add any combat value, so he's not losing any combat value in this fight. So we're going to see the full extent of both of their forces here. Now, remember, in this arena, there's no spawning new units. So once units are dead, they're dead. That's it. So it's all about how well they can micro their creeps here as they go around. Okay, so Ant here is going to take the energy from that container, which means if he takes that flag and... oh, he put it back. Oh, and he picked it up again. So that was oh, he's doing this really cool tricks. Okay, so what he's doing there is what one famous Screeps player calls surfing. So empty carry parts don't count towards the penalty for movement. So basically what he's doing is he's dropping the resource, moving the creep, and then picking the resource up again, which means that he's able to get just that little bit of extra speed, which is going to work in his favor. Now, he does control this tower, so which is going to give him potentially a big advantage in this fight that's just about to break out. So there you go. He's going to load up the tower, and the tower has just fired, knocking out a ranged attack creep of all of its attack power. He's got a healer completely out of position here, a melee creep here chasing down what was left of that healer, and that's going to go down. So that's already a healer gone for Judah. Judah here not taking a good engagement here. We have a melee creep here being taken out by these ranged attack creeps. It is only one step away from the flag, but it might be too late. He's not going to be able to load that up. That melee creep losing all of its melee parts. This creep here as well, which was another melee creep, has also lost all of its attack parts. Ant is able to keep his guys healed up though, and it looks like this game has already been decided in just this one very unfortunate engagement for Judah. Oh, but he is going to take out one of his creeps though, so that was one of Ant's healers there just going to go down. But I still think Ant has definitely come out on top here. Really, he should consider reloading his tower now to continue to take advantage of it. In fact, but it looks like he's misplaying a little bit here. Judah able to sort of rally here a little bit, taking out some of Ant's creeps, and a healer there taking a lot of damage, but he, fortunately for Ant, he does have healers behind, which could heal that healer back up to full. Melee creep there, taking a lot of damage, but pushing out nonetheless. Now, remember, healers do less healing in range. So he's not going to be able to heal up that ranged attack creep, that melee attack creep through all the damage, but he does successfully retreat it. One of his healers now, no healer parts left on it, is being healed though, so it's going to gain a few. Looks like Ant has managed to pull this back from what was nearly a little bit of a throw here. And now Judah has no healing power here at all, which means that these creeps are going to go down very easily. Because remember, folks, without the healing, he's got absolutely no way of fixing this incoming damage. And as he's taking damage, he's losing these body parts. And as those body parts go down, those creeps become less effective. And Ant here potentially doing the correct thing now and pushing that advantage. Judah still has a full health melee attack creep, but it's just not going to be enough. And it's going to take a lot of damage from both ranged and the melee attack creep of Ant. And with the healing power now that he's completely restored, he's able to very easily fix that up. And this creep here, which was the ranged attack creep, is also going to go down very easily, which means Judah really does not have anything left in terms of combat forces. He controls 2 of the flags though, but unfortunately for him, it's probably not going to be enough. And let's just go to a faster speed now. Okay, he's going to move those. Okay, one of the hauler creeps there, doing a little bit of a misplay and getting caught. But Ant really doesn't need to be chasing it, but he's going to do so nonetheless. All he needs to do is take those flags. He's pushed there into the base and taken the flag there, which means he just needs to get that flag there. Wasting so much time chasing after this carry creep, which is quite interesting. If Judah had some forces, he could potentially take advantage of that. If that was a behavior that Judah has in his bot, but yeah. He's got no combat at all, and there we go, and the game goes to Ant. So congratulations to Ant, you are through to the quarterfinals. That was a very interesting game that was decided just by one fight, and that tower made all the difference in the early game, but also just the positioning was off a little bit. Judah lost healers a bit too quickly there. But anyway, very interesting game all around. Okay, folks, we are just waiting for the next game to be run, and then we can see that. Oh, and there we go. It's just appeared now. But before we do that, just as a quick reminder, if you look in the channel description for the YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're watching this, you should see a link. If you click on that link and use the discount code SYNAP, that's SYNAP, you'll get a 5% discount on all of Screeps related purchases. This is Screeps Arena and Screeps World, and that 5% discount will stack with other discount codes as well that you might have, or if there's any promotional offers on currently. I'm not sure if there is. Also, we will be doing an access key giveaway at some point, so please stick around if you play Screeps World or if you're interested, because an access key can get you onto the brand new Shard X for 30 days. Okay, the next game is Jasper versus Loneswood. Loneswood. Okay, and in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Jasper, who has the white circle in the middle with the black circle on the outline. And just to be confusing, on the top left-hand corner, it's a black circle in the middle with a white circle on the outline. And it's Loneswood. Okay, let's see how this one plays out. In 3, 2, 1. Let the fight begin. Okay, and then straight away, both of them are going to move their forces out here. We're not going to see Jasper load up that tower at all at his base, which means that if Loneswood were able to sneak a creep past, he will be very easily able to capture that. Jasper is going to keep all of his units together, and it looks like he's beelining straight for the middle right now, but we've seen before that could just mean he's going to do that and then split depending on what his opponent's doing, so we'll see how that one goes. Meanwhile, we're seeing Loneswood here. He's actually leaving some of his forces behind, which means if he does take an engagement, he will have a slight numbers disadvantage against Jasper. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go to a slightly faster replay speed here. So just as you're aware, these games are being run live, but the games are run and then we can see the results of the simulation, and that's how we're doing the stream. So between each game, the games are run, and now we're just watching basically the replay of the simulation. Okay, so what we've just seen is Jasper was considering going to that bottom, and then he's given up, leaving it to Loneswood. Oh no, changing his mind again. Okay, this is big, because right now what we're seeing is Loneswood has split his forces up, so he has a few of his forces on the right-hand side of this big wall here that's impassable, and then his big chunk of his forces here on his left-hand side, and Jasper looks like he's going to take full advantage of this fact, and he's just turned his forces around to head towards that, and he might be able to inflict some early game casualties here on Loneswood. Now, remember, once they've lost the units in this arena, there's no economy, there's no rebuilding units, they're gone. That's it. So it's important to micro your forces really well, and unfortunately for Loneswood, he's just going to lose a healer right there off the bat, and these ranged attack groups are also in a very precarious situation. They have no healing here at all, which means there's nothing to fix up this damage. They're going to very quickly lose their attack power here, and Jasper looks like he's going to be able to very easily take these out. Yep, one left. That's 3 creeps already very easily lost. That was a bit of a misplay here, and now he's at even more of a considerable disadvantage, because remember, Loneswood has actually left some of his forces back in his base. Now, those aren't contributing at all to any of the fighting. So he was already at a numbers disadvantage, but then, unfortunately, that misplay where he split either side of that war cost him more of his forces. So Jasper here very effectively able to whittle those down. And every little engagement like this adds a little bit of an advantage, and this all adds up over the course of a game. So the top flag right now is controlled by Jasper. The bottom flag right now is still controlled by Loneswood, but it looks like Jasper is playing very well, only sending one of the creeps into this slowing brown swamp here, because remember, the swamp means he moves slower, and he only needs one to capture the flag, so he's very effectively not slowing down the main chunk of his army here. Okay, now interestingly, he could have potentially have sent one of the carry creeps there. I'm not sure why he didn't use a carry for that. The reason is the healer obviously can contribute healing to a fight, but a carry can't, and then the carry could also just stay there and maybe load up that tower. Of course, he's the expert, I am not. There might be a reason for it, and I'm sure maybe in the Discord at some point, Jasper might let us know why it was played out in that particular way. What we're going to see here, though, at the top is Loneswood is going to be grouping up his forces, potentially for one final engagement. He currently hasn't got that tower loaded up, but he does have a creep here that could do it. Now, he does have this numbers disadvantage, so his hope here might be if he actually loaded that tower, he could compensate for his lack of numbers with the extra damage from the tower. But interestingly, there you go, Jasper taking a few steps backwards to effectively group his forces potentially here. There you go, we see them all clustering up. This is very important, because if they went in one by one, he would take more casualties than he really needs to. And we're just going to go to a slightly faster tick rate as we move towards this engagement. Oh, and we're seeing Loneswood here. He's again making the same mistake he did earlier. Oh, but he realized it and backed off quicker this time. He was almost about to send some of his forces down one side of this wall and the rest on the other side of the wall, which could potentially have been disastrous for him. But Jasper is now going to push and potentially take this base here. Now, he could make a beeline here for Loneswood's base. He hasn't loaded up that tower at all. But he's going to be chasing after his forces here, using one of his attack creeps to take the top flag. So at the moment, he controls 3 of the 4 flags, chasing after Loneswood's forces here as they push to desperately try and retake that bottom flag. We'll see how this plays out. Loneswood might just try and run away again here. Loneswood Jasper is a little bit slower moving because he does take the time to regroup his forces, which obviously might be a good tactical decision, but it does mean that Loneswood is able to keep that distance from him. And again, we're going to see Loneswood running, but he runs one of his healers the wrong way, and that healer's going to go down. A melee attack coming in to back up the healer, another melee attack coming in to back up the healer, but both of them going to go down, and a second healer's going down, the third healer there running, but now it's being chased up by Jasper here. Jasper taking out another healer. That was a really bad engagement, and as we're seeing now that Loneswood has no healing parts left, completely lost all healing power now, thanks to that bad engagement with Jasper, who's now pushing up back towards the top. Unfortunately, it looks like this might be over from Longsword. He can't afford to take an engagement here. He doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have the heals at all. And, like, you know, if you look at these creeps, they've got nothing but move and carry. They're not useful. You know, and he's only got one attack and one ranged attack. It is not going to be enough to break the healing from Jasper here. And Jasper should be able to move in and just mop this up quite effectively. And there you go. As I said, able to very effectively heal through this damage here. That melee attack creep gone down, the other creep gone down, and now the only forces that are left for Longsword are in his base. And Jasper, there you go, he's going to make a beeline for that base now. And this is probably going to be the game at this point. Okay. Moving in with all his forces, not even taking the time to group them up. Doesn't really need to worry about casualties here. Just needs to get that flag. And what a game. And it just goes to show that just a few misplays can cost you the game. And Jasper was really good on capitalizing on that while also making sure his forces didn't split up at all. That was a very interesting game. Congratulations to Jasper. You're through to the quarterfinals. Okay, and it is now time for the quarterfinals. Let me just check in with 04, see if we've got anything going. Okay, all things look good. Right. Now we're going to see Drake versus Colo. Let's see how this one plays out. So this is the first match in the quarterfinals of Screeps Arena. The first arena is Capture the Flag, which is what we're looking at right now. Just as a brief reminder for those who missed the explanations earlier. The red is attack. Attack can only hit in melee range, which means a distance of one tile here. So as you can see, the map is made of tiles. A ranged attack creep here, these can hit in a distance of 3, but they do less damage. But they have a special ability called ranged mass attack, which will hit any enemy in a range of 3. The green ones over here, these are healers. So these can fix the damage that the enemy has done to your creeps. So, yeah, they're quite important to keep alive. These ones here, they don't have any combat ability, but what they can do is pick up the energy from these containers and put them into these towers. Now, whoever controls the flag controls the tower. And the tower can do a massive amount of burst damage, and it can also be used to heal your creeps. So we've already seen in in the 8th final matches that the tower can make a big difference between who wins and who loses an engagement. Now, there's no way to spawn new units at all, so they have to be a little bit careful with how they use them. And remember, there's 4 flags in the match, and whoever controls all 4 flags wins. They don't have to kill all the enemy creeps, and we did see a game earlier in the 8th finals where they didn't wipe out all the creeps, and yet, without barely any fighting, the match was still won. Okay, let's get this match started in 3, 2, 1. Okay, immediately we're going to see Colo. He's going to be leaving behind 3 of his creeps. It's a melee attack, a healer, and a hauler that he's going to leave behind in the base, and he's going to keep his tower filled there. That's potentially so Drake can't sneak a creep in and just take that. Drake, on the other hand, is splitting his forces. So he's loaded the tower, but he's moved all of his forces away. If he did have them more clustered up, he would have an advantage there. Because, you know, a chunk of Colo's healing power is back at his base, as well as some of his melee attacks. So, pardon me, the force that he's pushing out with is not his complete force. Now, what we're seeing on the ground here, that is a heal part. So if a creep steps on that, it adds another heal part to the body that it has. So a creep, remember, is made up of all of these body parts here. They all have 100 HP. If they take 100 damage, they die and they can't be used anymore until they're fixed up. When they pick up these body parts on the ground, what it does is it adds it to the creep's body, but it does need to be healed before it can be utilized. Okay, now, the other thing to remember is when they add more body parts, the creep gets slower because basically one move part can move other body parts. So, yeah, these creeps are balanced to move 1 a tick. So if you add more body parts, they will be slower. So that's something to bear in mind when you see these things. Okay, we're going to see a fight potentially breaking our bot, whereas Drake is moving a big chunk of his forces up here to take that flag there. So actually, even though Colo left some of his forces back at the base, he probably has a slight numbers advantage here. Now, he is leading with his healers. Now, that could backfire if Drake is able to get a good engagement here. And look, there we go. We're seeing those ranged attack units able to start hitting those melees without much of a retaliation. Oh, and there we go. Now we just saw Colo moving his ranged attack into range with melee. Like I mentioned, the melee do a lot more damage, and they're taking a lot of damage here. And a healer there losing all of its heal parts. That healer now has no healing parts left on it at all, and he's still got those ranged attacks in melee range. So Drake has managed to better position himself here, and Colo is taking a lot of damage. But Colo has just taken the tower and has just used it to shoot one of Drake's creeps, taking it out. So he does have that tower advantage, but not sure if it's going to be enough right now. He does have a melee creep here that managed to touch Drake's healers, but Drake's healer is able to peel away, and that melee creep has now lost all of its attack power. The range creeps here looking to make some opportunistic hits on Drake's creep, but it's not enough. If you look at Colo right now, if we just pause, look at how few creeps still have. These creeps are here in this cluster. Most of them don't have much left at all, and his healing power is greatly diminished. Look, he's got one healer there, forgetting what he's got back at his base, because obviously that's not really useful right now. Apart from the tower shots, he doesn't have too much healing power right now. And Drake is able to... Oh, this creep here might be a little bit out of position, but Colo is not focusing it. Oh, there you go. He's taken a little bit of a hit. Drake here regrouping his forces into a cluster here. Oh, there we go. The healer has managed to heal up one of the healers here, but it's just moved in range of a melee, so it's going to take a lot of damage here. Undoing all of that healing is done. Drake able to take out another one of the creeps. No way that healer's going to be able to get away. The other healer desperately coming in to save it, but itself is going to move into melee range. So unfortunately, it's going to be losing all of its heal power here potentially, as Drake successfully keeps onto it here. There you go, and he's lost yet another healer. So now what we see is Colo looks like he's making a beeline here for Drake's base. Now Drake does have that tower, is going to be able to do some damage. Probably not going to be able to take out all of those creeps before they get to his flag, but it's probably not going to be enough anyway. Remember here, folks, Drake currently controls the top flag. He doesn't control the bottom one yet, but it should be quite easy for him to do so. And it looks like he's moving one of his carry creeps to go and fetch it. The carry creep, though, is moving across the swamp, but it's not full, so it probably still has full movement. I'm not sure there. We can't see... I don't think we can see the... Oh, yeah, we can see the fatigue value. So, yeah, it's actually moving at full speed over the swamp. So, just on a quick note here, just pause and just mention this. Carry parts here only count towards the fatigue, which is, remember I said one move part moves one other part, but they only count towards that if they're actually carrying something. So right now this creep essentially has one carry part carrying something and a whole load of move. So even though this is a slowing swamp, it is able to move full speed across that. So he's just going to move as fast as he can to take that flag there. And it looks like there's no way Colo is going to be able to salvage this here. He's completely out of healing power in this attack cluster here. Drake probably doesn't have as much attack there, but crucially he does still have two healers, so he will be able to heal through Colo's damage. So we'll just go to a little bit of a faster tick rate as Colo makes a beeline to Drake. Drake holding off using that tower until they get into closer range, because remember, at closer range towers do more damage, and there we go, taking out almost all of those melee parts. Now, interestingly, if Colo takes control of that flag, he could potentially load up the tower and use the tower. And there you go. And there we saw it. Drake just taking tower shots from his own tower, and one of his melee creeps is going to in that cluster is going to be completely made useless. It's only got move parts left on it. Not sure it's going to be enough though. Weirdly, this creep with all the energy in it has moved away from the tower, so it's not reloading it at all. Colo is losing most of his attack parts, so this has one melee that's still effective. This creep, though, however, still has its full ranged attack, but it looks like that's not going to last very long, and there we go. Now all of those creeps have been rendered completely ineffective. Losing two of them there. Drake should potentially just go try and take the flags, maybe? Oh, he's going to move his creep back here to go take the flag. And it should be quite easy for him once he's caught this cluster to push into Kolo's base and secure the win here. So Kolo is pushing up towards the top flag, but it looks like Drake has sat there waiting for him. So whether he goes backwards or forwards now, it looks like it might be all over for him. Oh, Drake mismanaging that a little bit, moving his creeps down, not in taking out that one. It now beelines back to his base, desperately trying to get some healing. Now, this is Kolo's last stand here. As Drake pushes through, taking out those creeps. The tower shots are not going to be enough for him to hold out. The healer is healing itself and keeping it alive. He's so dependent on this tower right now. Drake looks like he might be struggling here to push through this tower damage, but the two healers working together to keep everything alive. The tower shots are not enough alone to take out this cluster here that Drake has, but it also looks like Drake does not have enough power to push through, or attack power, sorry, to push through that heal power currently. But here we go, reinforcements incoming, and this might be the end for Kolo here. Okay, yep, that healer's going down, and once that healer's down, it will be easy for him to mop the win. So, congratulations to Drake, you're through to the semi-finals. That was a very interesting game, and thank you all for watching. I hope it was good for the players as well, and I look forward to seeing how all the others play out as well. Okay, now we saw Q-Kun before playing a very defensive strategy that worked very much in his favor. I wonder if his bot is programmed to always do that, or if it'll vary his behavior depending on what others are doing. But anyway, the next match in the quarterfinal is Q-Kun versus Jarlek. Okay, let's get the game loaded. So, as I mentioned, these games have already been run. So now what we're doing basically is we're looking at the results of the simulation. So, this time Q-Kun is going to... Q-Kun is going to be in the bottom right-hand corner. And in the top left-hand corner, we've got Jarlek. And again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any of your names. Please feel free to drop me a line if I am. Okay. Sorry, there's just some messages. I'll check those in a little bit after this match. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Let the match begin. Okay, Q-Kun doing his defensive strategy here, as we saw before. He is just going to sit there and wait for his enemy to come to him. Meanwhile, we're seeing Jarlek pushing out here to try and take the 2 flags, one at the bottom, one at the top. Okay, Jarlek there, he's taken that top one. And he's taken that bottom one, and he's loaded the tower at the bottom. He's not loaded the tower at the top, though. Q-Kun is still just sat there. He's like, you come to me, I'm not coming to you. But if Jarlek just holds these, that's actually a loss for Q-Kun. Because remember, he's currently got 3 of those flags, whereas Q-Kun only has 1 right now. So we're going to go to a faster speed to see if Q-Kun actually pushes out at all here. Otherwise, this is going to be a very easy win for Jarlek. Now, Jarlek looks like he's moving towards Q-Kun and then constantly changing his mind. It's like whatever calculation he has going, he realizes that it's probably not wise to charge after this Q-Kun mass here. Yep, and there we go. He's backing off. They're all just dancing around at this point. There's nothing much happening because Q-Kun is like, nope, you come to me. I'm not pushing out. Jarlek is grouping some forces, and then he's backing off because he realizes, yeah, he's doing the right thing, though. He doesn't need to push to Q-Kun. Like, the game goes on for the 2,000 ticks, which means it times out. So remember, it's a maximum of 2,000 ticks, and then whoever controls the most flags at the end of that is our winner. So right now, Jarlek just needs to sit by, and that's exactly what he's doing. He knows he doesn't need to engage Q-Kun at all. Maybe Q-Kun has hopefully some code that says that if he's been there for too long, he pushes out, but right now it does not look like that's the case. Oh, there you go. Q-Kun has just pushed out. Okay, Q-Kun is going to move all of his forces pushing up to top, and we're going to see how this plays out, because right now we're going to see Jarlek sneaking up behind, and it looks like he's going to be able to maybe sneak into Q-Kun's base and take that. So it looks like Q-Kun was pre-programmed to stay pardon me, stay in his base for a set amount of time, and if that time elapsed, then to push out. This is a very bad engagement for him, though, at the top. This melee creep here is completely out of position. In fact, all three of them are out of position, and they have no healing support at all, which means that Jarlek should be able to very easily take those out. The rest of his forces look like they've realized he's got some problems going on bot, and he's going to be pushing down towards that. And there we go. We're seeing that melee creep able to actually pull away. Oh, no. Yep, there you go. You see, it doesn't matter at this point if he moves his ranged attack into melee range because it has no power left at all. Okay, but Kyukun is going to potentially get a good engagement down here, though. He's chasing off Jarlek. Able to get his melee creep into melee range with this. He is winning this engagement here. That melee creep is going to go down because Jarlek has his forces very staggered down here. But, you know, the time is not on Kyukun's favor. Remember, Jarlek still controls all three of the flags, and all he needs to do is hold out for another, 350 ticks. And if he can do that, then he wins. Kyukun here looks like he's going to try and push around the side here, looking to get another engagement off from Jarlek, who still has his forces quite staggered. This could bite him in the backside later. Kyukun again with his two melee creeps that are not in the group with the rest of them, but Jarlek was unable to take advantage of that. Okay. Kyukun still has two creeps back in his base. The creep here is, they're both just carry creeps, okay. So none of them have any sort of defensive capabilities. Kyukun, they're able to stop Jarlek pushing in here. Oh, Kyukun getting into melee range with a healer here. Able to do some damage to it. Oh, look at this. So Jarlek is actually, with one of his some of his creeps, look how many body parts he's managed to grab. So Jarlek has been going around grabbing body parts, it looks like, which actually gives him a bit of an advantage here because this creep is now bigger than the other creeps. Now remember, like I said, there's no spawning new creeps or anything, so the only way to make them more powerful is to go around and pick up the body parts on the ground, like that one there, for example. That will add an attack part, and that makes the creeps bigger and more powerful. But it doesn't help when you're losing creeps like that, and Jarlek loses yet another one. But he's doing fine, because it doesn't matter. All he has to do is stop Kyukun from being able to push out to the flags. And right now he's doing that effectively, and there's only 200 and something ticks left. So it's not looking good for Kyukun now. But Kyukun able to take out yet another one of Jarlek's creeps, so he is going to be whittling him down. The question is it going to be enough? Not managing his melee creeps very well there. And this, he did manage to get away, but the ranged attack creep there was very effectively chasing after that. And if he managed to keep that up, he could have potentially killed that very easily. Kyukun unable to decide basically whether to go for top or bottom. He keeps oscillating between the two, and this might be how he ends up losing here. Oh, but he is going to get a melee in range with the healers. He has been really good at getting this situation here where he can get a melee creep into range with one of Jarlek's healers. Now, you can't see it very effectively, but remember, they can both move and either heal or attack each turn. So they are both doing that. The healer is healing itself. The melee creep is attacking that one. But the melee damage is more than the healer can heal itself for, which is why over time he's been able to whittle that creep down completely. Okay, we're going to move to a slightly slower tick speed as we watch this. And that's a tower shot. But it was a long distance tower shot. Now remember, as I mentioned, the towers are more effective in closer range, which is why even though he took that tower shot, he barely took any damage because he's so far away from it. Jarlek, though, keeping the pressure on Kyukun, he's forcing him to consider defending his base, pushing for bot, and pushing for top. And all he has to do, like I said, is stall for time. And that's exactly what he's doing. And Jarlek here, see, feinting an attack on Kyukun's base and then backing off, able to back away that cluster quite successfully. A double heal cluster there, being combated by a double melee cluster, and those healers are going to be in melee range, but only with one of those melee creeps, so he is able to keep it alive mostly from what I saw. Actually, did that one go down? I think one of them might have gone down there. Let's have a look again. Yeah, so there you go, two of them. There you go. He did. Yes, he's got one of them. See, so he managed to get one of the healers down, but he didn't quite kill it, so he can heal that up again. But it's got no heal power currently. Looks like the end of the game, though, and Jarlek wins. So Kyukun's defensive strategy, he probably held it for a little bit too long. He allowed Jarlek to get those body parts, and then Jarlek, all he had to do was take those two flags and hold them. And then that's what he did, just kept Kyukun dancing around, and then won the game by timeout. That was a very interesting game, and Congratulations to Jalik, you're through to the semi-finals. Okay, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to watch the next match, and then after that we're going to take a little bit of a break for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then during that time we'll sort one or two things out behind the scenes, and then also it gives me a chance to nip to the bathroom as well, and then we'll be back after this game for the final quarterfinals, and then we'll move to the semi-finals. So anyway, the next game is Statue versus JSK, and let's take a look, see how this one plays out. Now, Statue pulled off a really interesting game against Metallics, so it'd be really interesting to see if he plays that sort of like defensive strategy around his own tower again. So, without further ado, in the top left-hand corner, we have Statue, and in the bottom right-hand corner, we have JSK. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, so right off the start, we're going to see Statue here. He's going to be pushing out his forces. He's going to have 2 different clusters again. And remember before, he likes to group them into groups of 3. So it's 1 melee, 1 heal, 1 ranged attack, as we saw. He's going to leave the carry creeps behind, keeping that tower loaded. He used that tower very effectively in the last game, so we'll see if he does that again. Meanwhile, we have JSK. He's just pushing all of his forces out in 1, but they are staggered. Now, he might group them up in a minute. Uncertain where he's going right now. He's sort of heading towards the middle. Now, a little bit of a technicality. Screeps uses what's called the Chebyshev distance, for distance between tiles, which basically means a diagonal step is the same length as a site, like a vertical or a horizontal step. So even though sometimes it might look like they're further away from something, because of that effect, you can move very effectively across diagonals, and things can actually be the same distance. Okay, so now we're seeing that Statue is going to be moving almost all of his forces here down towards the bottom. And it looks like, okay, so JSK is moving just one of those creeps. That's just the carry creeps. That adds no attack value at all. And that's going to go try and claim the top tower. So it looks like we might be getting a bit of a fight, and that's going to happen at the bottom. So we'll just fast forward until we get to there. Okay, so there's that extra heal part there. Neither of them going to go for it, though. They're going to be posturing around here, looking for that better engagement on each other. It looks like right now they might be both equally distant to that flag. But okay, we're seeing JSK making that dive into the swamp, but he's got a ranged attacker creep in the front, whereas Statue has a melee attack. Remember, the melee does more damage, but the ranged attack is able to start doing the damage before Statue even gets that. Statue's going to back off here, which means that if he wanted to, and there you go, JSK is going to move and take that flag. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're seeing Statue keeping those melees on the front line very effectively. JSK moving a melee creep a little bit too far forward, taking a lot of damage there. It's not dead, so it can be fixed up, but it's lost all of its attack power currently, and he's doing the same again there. Those melee creeps are completely out of position, and both of them now have no melee attack power right now. JSK pushed in there, actually got into melee range with the ranged attack creeps, but then decided to back off, unfortunately, possibly because he might have calculated that he's not going to win that engagement. Meanwhile, we're seeing those melee creeps now, even though they took a little bit of healing, one of them is going to go down just because it's not being micro properly. And there you go, another one has lost all of its attack power again, despite the healing. Statue looking to heal up this creep here on this back line before making another dive into it. Now, JSK does control this flag, so if he did have a hauler creep... Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened there. Let me get back into where we were. My apologies. I think we got booted a little bit there. I apologize. Okay, we were about here. Sorry, these technical difficulties happen, I guess, sometimes. Okay, so we saw that this one here went down, but it looks like Statue now is going to be rotating his forces, heading up towards the top. Again, though, like, no energy loaded into this tower. Now, that would have been an interesting thing to do because it would have given JSK a bit of an advantage there. Oh dear, JSK has a hauler creep here that looks like it might be heading towards its doom if it's not careful. Although Statue not able to make a decision here. He could have gone after that one, but he decided to leave it. At bottom here, though, we still see this cluster of 3 just out to cause chaos, basically, is able to pick off yet another one of the creeps. JSK is just going to cluster his forces around this flag, and this group of 3 is just going to oscillate around here, it looks like, and just basically cause problems for JSK. It looks like Statue might have the advantage here. Now, JSK does have a hauler creep here, but again, not loading that energy. But he has lost all of his melee power entirely now. He still does have a lot of heals, though, so he is able to keep things healed, and his ranged attack are on the swamp, which means it will take more time for Statue to get onto the swamp. Okay, misplay, though, here. Oh, but he backed off again. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on here. So maybe he's realized that he can't beat the damage or something, but Statue actually was able to get into melee distance with the ranged attack creep, but then backed off. Oh, and JSK here is potentially going to try and kite it, as look, he's moving this creep around, but making sure he keeps a distance so that he can't be meleeed too easily. But yeah, it's not going to be able to actually kill that creep, but it's going to be annoying enough to keep that cluster of 3 busy. Meanwhile, Statue is going to push him with the other cluster of 3 that he's now brought back from his push towards the top. And he's able to do some damage. Okay. Statue's now just taking some time to heal up his creeps. Oh, and there we go. That was a misplay. We just saw a ranged attack creep move into melee range. Remember, the melee does a lot more damage, but he's got 3 healer creeps. Even though they're healing at range, they are able to prevent that one from going down. Statue here is just basically dancing around the outskirts here of JSK's formations, looking for a good opportunity to engage. But let's have a look at the flag situation here. So JSK controls the top flag. JSK controls the bottom flag, and JSK controls this flag. So actually, all JSK has to do is hold. Like, as long as he keeps Statue occupied here and holds all 3 of these flags, he will win by default. But that might not happen here. Oh, Statue did try and push in with a melee there, but that did not work out for him. Okay, he's got another melee here, smacking onto that ranged attack creep. He's just not able to break through those heals, though. Okay, he's going to push into the back line here. The healers are all there. If you can get that melee creep into the range with the healers, that might be big, but again, he's backing off. He's playing very cautiously here, obviously not wanting to lose any creeps here in this engagement. His code is obviously written to protect his groups of 3, and he's pushing in with another group, but pulling back again. Oh, he has got a healer, though. And no, unfortunately, the healing power is too strong. If he coordinated these a little bit better, maybe he could have actually pulled off some damage here. Maybe an option could be for him right now is to actually back off from this flag and go push either towards JSK's base or take the one at top and just leave him in that cluster. Okay, folks, we're going to go to a slightly faster tick speed here. Because it looks like, yeah, this dance is just going to continue. Oh, okay, but this is big here. So what we're actually seeing is even though JSK was holding that position really well, he's pushing out. And he's pushed out badly. Like, if he just held, he would have been fine. But that healer now is on the edge of the swamp, and it is in melee range as well. And he's got these 2 creeps. These are just carries. They don't have anything. And that's a ranged attack, so it does do less damage than the melee that's currently smacking his healer. And the healer is now taking a lot of damage. It's only got 3 heal parts left. And he's also taking more engagements here. Another bad engagement there with the ranged attack. Oh, look at that. He's moved the healer off the swamp, and it's rotating around that cluster of 3. That could be fatal unless he can get it into range with his other healers. Oh, and there you go. It's lost all its healing power. That's more healing power gone for JSK. Reducing his ability to sustain what's going on over here. He's desperately trying to keep this creep alive, but unfortunately that one's going to go down for him as well. His healing power has been diminished a little bit, but now that now the Statue's backing off a little bit, he might be able to repair all of this. But oh no, the healers are taking more damage. Statue here being very good at actually picking off the healers. Like, pretty good focus there. It looks like Statue is going to be able to win this engagement, and it was just because of that bad push out by JSK. Like, if he just held the position, he might have been able to win by default if Statue wasn't able to break him. And Statue is going to take control of the tower now, but he's unable to load the energy. I'm not sure if he's got anything with carry here at all. No, he doesn't look like he's got any of his carry creeps here, so he's not able to take advantage of this tower that he's just captured. But I'm not sure if it matters anyway, because JSK doesn't have much left here. He does have a healer though, so if he is able to back it off, he will be able to heal it. But this creep is also going to go down, which means he's going to lose yet another creep. And now it looks like this is a pretty clear victory for Statue, who's now going to push forward with his melees. No way can JSK actually out-heal that damage, and he's desperately going to try and run away, but unfortunately it might be too little too late here. The melees didn't push forward, which is quite interesting. Now, if they did, maybe it's because it's on a swamp. So he is, remember, on the swamp here, which is this brown terrain, you do have a movement speed restriction. Okay, JSK escaping now with the few creeps he has left. Looks like he's going to be heading towards the base of Statue, but that's probably not a good play. Oh no, he's turning around again. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. If he went towards that base, he could have been shot by tower, but now he's taking the damage from the creeps instead. The melee is in range with people. He's not attacking the healer, though. He's attacking the creep that the healer's healing, which is interesting, but it doesn't matter because the healer... Oh, no, that was a bad swap from the healer. Now he's going to be in range with all of these melee creeps, and those are just going to absolutely wreck it. Sending in this ranged attack creep to save it, but it's not going to be enough. And the melee is now in range with a ranged attack as well. JSK not kiting that very well, and that creep is going to go down as well, which means that JSK has pretty much lost all of his combat power here. Now, the flags are even right now, but all it takes is Statue to push out and get them now, and he's going to be able to do that without much contest. So we'll just go a bit faster here, and yeah, as we can see, JSK really doesn't have anything. Does he have anything left here actually on the board? I don't think he does. So this is probably going to be an easy win to Statue, who's going to push up and take the remaining flags. Okay, folks. And congratulations to Statue, who's now through to the semi-finals. And like I said, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be back. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and we're back. Now with the final game in the quarterfinals. After this game, I'm going to show you how you can get yourself a free access key for Screeps World. And using this, that means you can then get access to the new Shard X for absolutely no cost for 30 days. Pardon me. Also, if you look on whatever platform you're streaming on, whether it's Twitch or YouTube, if you look in the description, there should be a link. If you follow that link and use the code SYNAP, which is SYNAP, you'll get yourself a 5% discount. And that stacks with any other promotions that are running currently. Any purchases you make through that also help support the channel. So much appreciated if you do, but obviously no pressure if you don't want to. But anyway, without further ado, here is our next game in the quarterfinals. We have Ant versus Jasper. Okay, loading the game. Okay, in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to have Jasper with his default badge, which is the white circle with the black circle on the outside. And then we have Ant with the sorry, forgive me. Sorry, we have Ant with his orange badge and the top top left-hand corner. So if you just give me 1 second, I just need to sort out a technical thing for your access key. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm terribly sorry about that. Okay, so again, we have Jasper on the bottom right, Ant on the top left. In 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, and they're off. Okay, right at the start, we're seeing both of them making a beeline here towards the middle. I'm not sure if he picked up some more body parts there or why he was actually healing. Okay, we're actually going to see Jasper diving into the swamp here. Ant has one ranged attack, but is not going to be enough to hold it. Jasper powering his way through the swamp here, able to put a lot of pressure on Ant, whose forces are now split up all over the place. Looks like this is a very favorable engagement for Jasper, but we'll see how this plays out. I'm just going to pause and slow this fight down because this is absolutely crazy what's going on right now. We'll just go back a few ticks and just see. This was very fast how this broke out. And here we go. We're seeing Jasper actually losing a creep here. So he did push out a little bit too fast and too hard. And he's also pushed out with his healer creeps, which is probably not great for him either. So he might actually be, there you go. He's going to take 2 casualties there, potentially. Oh, he manages to keep that one alive, but only just, and he moved it in range with a melee creep, which means he's going to take out more damage. Meanwhile, Ant able to regroup his forces, but also pushing through with his healer creeps. Okay. Ant is now taking a melee damage on his healers. Both of the healers here going to go down for Ant. This is not good for him at all. He's lost a lot of his healing power. He does have this one healer here that's successfully able to retreat. But it looks like Jasper here is able to win, at least taking out the healers there. And a lot of Ant's creeps are now very badly damaged. And he's chasing after a few. Ant is going to take another casualty there. And he's able to get into range with this ranged attack. But he's backing off here. Doesn't quite have enough. Ant has his forces split up. Jasper has generally got his in a cluster. So it looks like Jasper is going to chase him down. And what an explosive start to this match. This was a very quick push through the middle. And it's worked really well for Jasper against Ant here. Ant is taking some damage on these creeps. Not sure if he's got enough healing power here to heal through this damage. Looks like probably not. So long term, this creep might be going down here. There we go. It's now down to its last ranged attack part. So it's not doing much damage at all right now. And there you go. Now he's eating into the move parts. But the thing is, it might be able to retreat to his tower fast enough. And then he could either heal it up with the tower. Oh, and never mind. The healer has also lost the healing part. So there's no more healing coming for that either. So it's just ending very badly. For some reason, the carry creep is leading the charge. They're obviously having no combat ability. But I guess it's good for a damage sponge. Okay, that blinking right there, that is ranged mass attack, which is quite brutal right now because that creep here is basically attacking all of the creeps within range 3. And as more come closer, it's going to do more damage. Now, Yeah, there you go. It's still not enough, though. Like, unfortunately for Ant, he just lost too much of his stuff at the beginning to Jasper's explosive start, and he's now got his forces split up all over the place, and Jasper is able to keep his guys together and just go around and basically pick them off one by one. And then we're going to see another creep going down there. What a game, like in the semi-finals. Okay, we're going to go a little bit faster as we see Jasper here just pushing the advantage he has. Okay, the tower there doing a little bit of healing, getting that ranged attack creep back in the game, but it's not going to be enough, and two creeps going down there as one of them tried to work with the other. Jasper now just chasing down the remaining forces. That one hitting a swamp, which means that because it's now in the swamp, Jasper is able to catch it up and take that one out as well. Now, Ant has one creep left, apart from the one he's got in his base refueling the tower. So I think this is pretty much decided in Jasper's favor. Oh, no, correction, sorry. He does have one down here on the flag as well. But again, the towers are not going to save him now. He just has no damage potential left. Okay, Jasper taking that top tower. Moving his forces now, heading towards the bottom. Healer leading the charge, but it doesn't really matter too much at this point. It looks like this is only going to go one way. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit faster. He's taking that flag, and he's now going to just push into this base and very easily take that flag as well. And the win is going to go to Jasper. Well played, Jasper. So, Jasper is through to the semi-finals, and now we're also on to the semi-finals. So, what we're going to do is... Probably after the semi-finals, what I'm going to do is I'm going to display a picture, and that picture is going to have a discount code on it, and the discount code will let the first 10 people who use it redeem an access key for free. I don't quite have that to hand right now, so we'll just jump into the next game, and then after that I'll display it on the screen. First 10 people to use that key will get an access key. You can only use it once, though, so don't bother trying to use it multiple times. It won't work for the same account multiple times. Okay, next match. We have Drake versus Jarlek in the first of the semi-finals matches of Screeps Arena Season 2, Capture the Flag. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Drake. Oh, pardon me. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Jarlek. In 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay. And right after the start, we're going to see Drake leaving one of his creeps behind there to keep his tower powered. He's also going to look like he's splitting his forces into two clusters here. One cluster heading to the top, one cluster heading to the bottom. Jarlek looks like he's doing the same, but how they're balancing them is potentially a little bit different here. Drake looks like he's doing a bit of a 50-50 split, whereas Jarlek seems to be focusing most of his forces on bot and only sending some of them top. He does have one creep, though, that's just sort of sat there at the back, not really doing anything. Okay, we're going to see an engagement here at the top. Looks like Drake has the numerical advantage, Jarlek only having the 2 heals, 2 ranged attacks, but Drake does have 2 ranged attacks, but as well as some melee power, some heal power, and also, crucially, a creep that can actually load the tower as well. And on this bottom one, though, it'd be more interesting to see. It looks like they're more evenly matched, especially because of the creep that's sort of left behind, and that one also left behind. So yeah, Jarlek has some creeps left behind. Drake does not have the same number left behind at all. In fact, he's got nothing left behind now. And cool, Jarlek realizing this probably isn't a good fight for him, and he's backing off most of his forces here. But for some reason, we've got a melee creep pushing forward. In fact, he's trying to very cheekily sneak this carry creep round the back here. Now, he can get away with it because remember, the swamp does not slow these things down when they're not carrying anything at all. So he will be moving at full speed in that swamp, but it looks like he's not going to be able to beat Drake there. Drake is going to get to that flag before he can make it, and it looks like Jarlek's realized potentially, and now he's just going to try and escape with that creep. All he has to do is try and desperately keep it alive. Drake can load the tower here, though. He's loaded it, but the tower, there you go, it shoots. And now that creep is only basically a move part. It can no longer be used to reload towers. I'm going to rewind just a little bit here because we kind of missed this engagement on top. And we'll see what happened up here as well, because this is all very interesting. And we are in the semi-finals now. So, okay. It looks like Jarlek, what's happened here is Jarlek basically just pushed back. And okay, looks like Drake has taken control of that position. And as we saw, this is our melee, this is our hauler creep here that got shot as we saw before. And okay, what's happening now is Jarlath has his forces split all over the place, whereas Drake has his concentrated into 2 clusters. Okay, Drake keeping that tower nice and loaded, ready to go. And now he's got 1 cluster there waiting for Jarlath to come to him. Now he can get away with that because Jarlath needs to come to him to win. Oh, but he's going to very cheekily sneak this creep over to there. No way should he be able to take that flag though, because really Jarlath both has that tower and a melee creep there waiting for him, and Drake very comically realizes, don't want to be here, turns around and leaves. He still controls 3 of the towers though. Now, he controls this tower, but he hasn't loaded this one, so it's not going to impact the fight too much unless he can get some energy into it. Jarlath is dancing around a little bit here. His forces seem to be a little bit all over the place. No cohesive strategy at this point, it seems, though. He could probably correct me on that if I'm missing something here. He does have these 2 creeps here that have pushed into Drake's side, but he wasn't able to get there and take the flag for whatever reason. That would just sort of buy him time, though. Now, because they're both healers, they could potentially tank this tower damage, and there's no one there to reload the tower either. So there you go. He takes that 1 tower shot, and there you go. He's just going to heal through it, and that tower's got no one there to load it. Drake is going to move that hauler back towards his base, though, probably realizing that those creeps there can't actually do any damage. And Jarlath as well, again, his bot being very indecisive, moving away, just pointlessly taking a tower shot there as well. This isn't going too well for him. He hasn't. He should really try and cluster them a bit and push one of the sides or something like that. But this dance is not ending well for him. Oh, there you go. He has taken that flag on bottom though, so he has taken Drake's base from him. But Drake still controls the 2 towers, one at the top, one at the bottom of the map. And yeah, it looks like Jarlath is not going to take any good fights here. Let's speed it up a little bit. Yeah, okay, he is moving towards the bottom here. I think he has been losing 1 or 2 creeps here in some skirmishes. There you go. Drake is pushing out now. Jarlath running away. Jarlath has some creeps stuck in the swamp, and it looks like Drake is going to be able to take advantage of that potentially. No, actually Drake did not. Drake has lost all the healing power on that healer because Jarlath was able to take it out. Jarlath is now actually getting a very favorable engagement here because Drake unfortunately got his forces split up. He has been able to refuel that tower, but it's probably not going to be enough. Jarlath does have a lot of healing power there. The top is also not looking too good for Drake. He's still holding it, but he's only got 3 creeps there. Drake, however, has been able to regather his forces, and is going to make a concerted effort to push towards Jarlath. Jarlath has actually put an attack part on his healing creep, which is interesting, because generally you don't want to keep those in melee range. And that attack part's costing him, because now his creep was slower, and he was able to get into melee range, and he's got his healers in melee range, and that's not great. And now he's going to lose a healer, and that second healer is probably going to go down as well. And this might be it for Jarlath here, because there's no way he's going to be able to survive with all of those healer losses. That ranged attack group is going to try and do some kiting, but there's nothing there to heal it up. So if Drake chases it down, he will be able to take it out, but it's actually slightly out of range right now. But it looks like that was a very favorable engagement for Drake. Jarlath losing more forces, and Drake now looks like he might be trying to make a push here for Jarlath's base at the top. Okay, so we're going to go to a slightly faster tick speed here as we watch what happens. Drake is desperately chasing Jarlath as Jarlath runs back towards his base with what forces he has left. Not escaping very well with that melee creep. That's going to go down. And a second melee creep as well here, also not retreating very well. But now he is kiting reasonably well with that creep. Now, Jarlath does have the advantage here with the tower, but will it be enough? That's the question. We still do have a lot of healing power with Drake. Okay, he's not retreated that ranged attack creep very well, and that's because it was on the swamp, so he did have the fatigue, but it's still fine for him because now Jarlath has pretty much lost all of his forces, and Drake should very easily be able to capture the 1 remaining flag here. No combat power at all left for Jarlath, it looks like, and all he has to do is step on the flag and win the game. But instead he's chosen... Oh no, sorry, correction. He does have to retake his base because Jarlath does have 1 random creep there. He has used his carry creep. I think that's how he's got it set up, is he's using the carry creeps to go around and take the flags, whereas the combat creeps focus on combat, it looks like. Jarlath does have a ranged attack creep still alive.
Not sure it's going to be enough for him, though. Interestingly, he's just got a creep sat there. He could just move that and take that flag as well. Like, his play here could just be to try and make Drake's game more difficult. Oh, but I totally missed that. I'm terribly sorry. It looks like Drake did move a creep to his flag simultaneously and now controls all of the flags, meaning congratulations, Drake. You are through to the Screeps Arena finals. Okay, the last game in our semi-finals is Statue versus Jasper. Now, we've seen Statue pull off some interesting plays here with his three creep his 3 creep squads, but we'll see how it plays out against Jasper here. Okay, in the top left-hand corner, we have Statue, and in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Jasper. And in 3, 2, 1, let the game begin. Okay, so right off the start, we're going to see Jasper pushing all of his forces out together in one cluster, whereas Statue's doing the thing that we're quite used to now, where he has his units in his groups of 3, but those groups of 3 are all heading in the same direction. Okay, Jasper looks like he's making a beeline there for the middle. Will he push through it? That remains to be seen. He is going to be breaking off one melee attack creep there, heading up towards that flag at the top, which he will capture. Okay, looks like Jasper's decided to basically move all of his forces up there now, probably realizing there's a big cluster down there. Maybe he wants to take the cluster at the top and cluster up at the top instead. Oh, but no, he's changing direction. Looks like he's going to try and take an engagement here with Statue. This could be a really big fight here. So we're going to slow down the pace of the simulation playback. Okay, interestingly, leading the charge, we do have a carry creep on the front line, which is an interesting choice. Good damage sponge. Can't do any damage, though, itself. The healer on the front line as well. The healer's going to get into melee range. That is a misplay, unfortunately. That healer's taking a lot of needless damage from Statue. But it's still alive, so he can still keep it fixed up. Front line, though, are the carry creeps, which is an interesting choice. Okay, they took a bit of a melee engagement there and backed off. Jasper is going to lose one of his, or some of his carry creeps there, because they are on the front lines pointlessly. And also, again, moving those carry creeps into the front line. Okay, we're going to see Statue here. He did just smack it a little bit, but this is like a hit and a run almost situation we're seeing from both players right now as they attack, lick their wounds, and go back in for another attack. Okay, now we're seeing the melees on melees. Okay, melee just managed to hit the healer there again with the running away. This fight might take longer than expected unless one of them starts to misplay. The healers again able to heal up the damage that they take in each of these little melee skirmishes. Statue's groups of 3 lining up really nicely here, making a push against Jasper, who's out of position currently because he does have the healers on the front line. Healer there was taking some melee damage, not enough though. Statue very well juggling to keep his melee creeps on the front line. The other group of 3 pushing through there. He did get a big melee hit on that range attack creep, but then his melee creep itself is taking a lot of damage and it has lost all of its melee power. Another melee creep coming in though. Looks like it might be able to do some damage to the healer, but looks like Jasper's able to heal that through. These groups of 3 falling apart a little bit now. We're seeing some of them getting split off down bottom. This has no power at all, so if we just pause and take a look here, this one has some ranged attack power, but the heal and the melee from this group of 3 has been completely eliminated, meaning its effectiveness has been drastically reduced. This one here has also this group of 3 here has also lost its melee and its heal. This one still has some heal, but it's very little left. So it looks like Jasper might be winning this fight, but we'll see how it goes. Like every move matters in this game. Okay, so these attack creeps here losing a lot of their power, but they are going to be healed up because Jasper not pushing around. This group of 3 was isolated from the others, and Jasper is taking full advantage of that, chasing them down, and he is going to be able to eliminate that group of 3 completely. That was a big win right there for Jasper, but that doesn't mean he's won this engagement completely. And yes, they're turning around for yet another go. Oh, he swapped the melee creep. So the melee creep of Statue has just been swapped into the middle of all of Jasper's creeps. Now, this is a really bad position for that creep because the only way it can be healed now is with ranged heal. Now, remember, ranged heal does less healing than if they're in melee. And he's also got this ranged attack creep to attack it and that melee creep to attack it there. And also these two healers are still here, like, healing stuff up. So that creep there is potentially going to go down very quickly if Jasper focuses on it. And sure, he does. And that creep now has lost all of its attack power. And it looks like it's going to go down. He managed to very well get into that group of 3. And he split off another of the groups of 3. And that's going to lose one of its creeps as well. Now he's going to chase after this isolated cluster very effectively. It's too late for these ones back here. They're not going to be able to catch up and save him at all. These creeps are going to go down, which means that Jasper is definitely ahead. But this has been a really interesting fight between both of these players in our semi-finals. Both of them microing really well. These groups of 3, like the way he was rotating, was very interesting to see. But it looks like the win on this might actually just be going to Jasper here. He's going to chase after this group of 3 now, and he can afford to because all of this damage is gone. There's no way that there's no healing power left. Sorry, and these creeps are probably going to go down very easily from now. And yes, as we're seeing, he's caught up with the melee. Looks like Jasper isn't going to be able to play his strategy where he plays around his towers at all. Sorry, Statue's not going to be able to play that tactic where he plays around his towers. And it looks like right now all Jasper needs to do is go and capture his flags and capture these flags, and then he'll be through to the finals. So we'll speed up a little bit, just because there's not much of a fight left to happen here. And there you go, creeps going down, flag taken, and the win goes to Jasper. Congratulations, Jasper. You are through to the finals of Screeps Arena. Okay, folks. Now it is time for the finals. But as promised, we're going to have a little bit of a break where I put on the screen a image which is going to have a promo code and a link. Now, if you go to that link and you enter that promo code, that's how you're going to get your free access key for Screeps World. Okay, just give me 1 second to get that loaded up, and then we'll be right back with you. Okay, folks, on the screen right now should be that promo code that I mentioned earlier. You can go to the world.store.screeps.com and enter that promo code and get your access key. It's a maximum of 1 access key per person, and we've only got 10 of them, so you got to do it quickly if you want to get it. Meanwhile, what we're going to do next is we're going to watch the 3rd place match, and then after the 3rd place match, then we'll jump into the finals and we'll watch that one. So anyway, don't worry if you don't get this image right now. I will be putting it back on the screen a little bit later for those of you that missed it. But yes, go ahead, go redeem your access key. And also, if you're watching this in the future after the stream has ended, there's no guarantee that all the access keys were redeemed, so you might as well give it a try. Okay, right. Without further ado then, let's get started with the 3rd place match. So again, both of these players both played amazingly this season. It was really interesting to see all of their different tactics. But yes, let's see who gets to take the silver medal and the bronze medal home for Screeps Arena Finals. So the 3rd place match. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have Statue. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Jarlek. And in 3, 2, 1, let the match begin. Okay, so both of them are breaking off here. We're seeing Statue doing his very familiar now three creep units. Sorry, forgive me. A very interesting strategy. It managed to get him through to the semi-finals, so it's obviously very effective. In the previous match, though, we did see it be exploited just a little bit. However, there was a very interesting fight in the last one. Okay, but we are going to see him going to opposite sides now. So we are going to see Jarlek taking the top, and we're going to see Statue taking the bottom. And what's really interesting is right after doing that, they're both making a beeline for the other player's base. Now, what we're seeing is Jarlek has left an attack creep back here and a hauler creep. Oh, but he's turned around. Okay, Statue was heading towards the base, but he decided, actually, no. He's gone back to defend that position. He is going to lose his hauler creep there, and he's going to lose his base there, which isn't great for him. Now, Jarlek does not have a hauler creep there right now to actually load energy into that tower. Oh, but he is going to go back for the base now. He did change his mind again. And it looks like here that, yes, that melee creep might be going down. He is going to be chasing after that rather than going for the flag, though. Which is interesting. Okay, he's changed his mind. He's realized that actually his position there at the bottom is under threat. Now, if he loses that, he's lost the game. Now, remember, it's not about the fights, it's about the flags. And unfortunately for Statue, he didn't capture the flag here when he had the opportunity to. And as a consequence, even though there was basically no fighting in this match, Jarlek, because he took the top flag, because he took the flag down here, and because he took this flag, he was able to actually take the win very easily, very quickly, without actually having to fight at all, basically. So, congratulations to Jarlek. You win the silver medal. And, of course, congratulations to Statue as well. Really well played. And you take home the bronze. Sorry, no, correction. Forgive me. This was for the bronze medal. I'm an idiot. The finals determine the silver medal. Forgive me. Jarlek, you take home the silver medal. Statue, you did really well. And, to get through to these finals, man, and your bot was very impressive. I did enjoy watching it. Very sorry about the confusion. That's on me. So, yes, congratulations to Jarlek on your third place prize. Okay, so this is the match that we've all been waiting for. The finals of Capture the Flag Season 2. Screeps Arena. But before I just jump into this game, here's that promo code again. I did promise I'll show you a second time. So if you want to take advantage of it now, I'll give you a minute to do that while I take a drink. Okay, folks. Have you got the promo code? I hope you have. Oops, did not mean to play the transition though. Doesn't matter. Okay, in our final match, the best of the best. Now, we have seen some pretty awesome fights out of these two. And now they're both through to the final. So best of luck to you guys. And whoever wins and whoever gets the silver, it's been amazing watching you. And I don't know, I think you've pulled off some really cool games. The only thing is, Jasper, please change your profile picture, man. The default badge is so boring. Anyway, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Jasper. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Drake. So for the final time of this season for Capture the Flag, get ready to start the game. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, and immediately we're going to see Drake breaking out here. He's going to split his forces into 2 groups. Looks like he's going to take half of them top, half of them bot. Now, are we going to see Jasper pushing through the middle again here? That worked for him quite well previously. Looks like it. Yes, he's beeline straight for the middle there, throwing all of his guys into swamp. But then he changes his mind, actually. And now he realizes here that actually Drake, because he split his forces up, he's got the vast majority of his army heading to top, whereas he's only got a handful of creeps going bottom here. Now, bear in mind, neither of them have left anything back in their bases, so we are seeing the full extent of their forces being deployed here. Okay, and now we're going to see... we're going to slow this down a bit as we watch to see this fight begin. Drake realizing what's going on, sending more forces around, but they're probably going to arrive a little bit too late here to salvage this fight for him. Jasper moving in, Drake backing off, Drake correctly realizing, no way can I win this fight. Doesn't want anything to do with it, but he almost moved in that hauler creep a little bit too much, but he does back it off. We would expect this at the finals, but he's moving it into a corner, so it looks like Jasper might be able to pick it up, but he doesn't bother with it. Does no need to. But actually, really cheekily, Drake is sneaking it around here, might be going for that flag. If he can take that flag, and then rush into that base, he might actually win by default here. But let's take a look at this fight unfolding here. So what we're seeing on the front lines here is Drake has already lost one of his melee creeps pretty much. He's got a healer on the front line, but the melee creep from Jasper is also not on the front line yet, but we'll probably see that swap in a second. Forces-wise, we are seeing a majority of Drake here, but he has left some forces up here on top, which might backfire for him if it were not for the fact that he's actually going to potentially sneak this carry creep here and get that flag. And if he can get that one onto that flag there, if Jasper, for whatever reason, moves off, Drake might just win by stealing the flags here, but we'll see how this plays out. So let's go to our slowest replay speed, just so we can see action by action here. Okay. And now we're seeing that healer creep is out of position for Jasper, but he correctly repositions it and backs off. He's now going to back off into some healing. Drake here going to lose a creep. This was a melee attack creep, completely caught off guard. Drake is clearly losing this fight here. Okay. He is taking a lot of damage on his heals. He's moved his heals forward. They're in a bad position. The melees here from Jasper moving in on the melees from Drake, but at this point, Drake has far less power now than Jasper, and Jasper able to get another hit there. That creep completely defunct as well. Drake very badly losing this engagement, running out of heal power as well. Only has this healer left that seems to still be active, and now he's completely out of heal power in this cluster. But, like I said, look, Drake has managed to sneak that flag there. Drake has also got that top flag, and there. All he has to do is keep this cluster busy. If he does that, then he's going to win by default by taking the flags. Look, because this creep is very slowly making its way over to that flag, and let's just see if he can just keep this cluster of Jasper busy enough to sneak those flags. And remember, folks, it's not about the creeps, it's about the flags. And it looks like Jasper here is completely caught up in this fight, too tunnel visioned with all of his units here, while Drake very cleverly sneaks around to take a victory. In fact, he's not even running these units away, he's using them to bait Jasper, and he's very successfully doing this. Jasper chasing after those units, but it might be too late to stop him now, because Drake is going to beeline for that flag. It might devolve into a race for it. Now, ideally, what he should have done here, Jasper, is actually break off one of his units or something to go and retake a flag. Because, Drake is about to win any second now. It's too late. So he's killed almost all of Drake's attack power. Drake has this little cluster here, but they're not going to be able to do anything. He is going to try and make a rush for this flag at the bottom here with one of his heal creeps, but it's probably too late, because remember, these creeps here, these carry creeps, are not slowed down by the swamps. And we're going to have one tick away, and then Drake is going to win in 3, 2, 1, and the victory goes to Drake. Amazing. There was that big fight. Jasper very clearly won that fight. But the Screeps champion for Capture the Flag is Drake for Season 2. Congratulations, Drake. That was an amazing match to watch. And thank you all so much for coming. I welcome any questions, comments, feedback, etc. And I will put on the screen the thing that, some of you might be here for, which is that promo code. Oh, wow. Let's see what you're all chatting about. Sorry, I haven't been watching the chat. Yeah, very much won the battle, lost the war, unfortunately. Yeah, GG to everyone. That was, pretty amazing. Okay, folks. Well, this has been a reasonably long stream. I'd like to thank you all for attending. And, of course, to all of our players for... Okay, I will... Next time, I'll be sure to do that. I will put some game rules down, as a written thing, because I explained it at the start of the game, but I didn't carry on explaining it as time went on. But I think if I do write it down somewhere, that could be quite useful. I know there's a few people here who aren't familiar with Screeps that have come on. So thank you for that suggestion. Yeah, thank you. Well, I know there's a few people from other like games and stuff that I take part in that said they would join in. So I know there are people watching who aren't familiar with Screeps. So yeah, I did try to like keep going and re-explaining things, but I kind of tailed off towards the end. So I'll make sure to keep on top of that a little bit next time, or post it somewhere. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Right, folks, I hope you grabbed that promo code. I am probably going to turn in now. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming. And of course, thank you very much for our contestants for taking part. And we'll be back tomorrow with the next arena. So please do come along. This next one's a bit different. So they have more of an economy, so they can build units and that kind of thing. It's not just about like what you start with. So from that point of view, like losing a single unit might not be as impactful as it was in this. But yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow. And I'll play the advert one last time for the stream.